Thank you so much for having me and that warm introduction. I guess I'll pay Jay the $20 I owe her later. No, she's just such a sweetheart and always great to be in Oregon. You guys are awesome. I love the energy that you guys bring. I know it is early. How many of you guys are morning people? I'm not. So 10 a.m. Saturday, after being financially free for 10 years, I'd rather be sleeping in. But I'm here with you today, and that's what successful people do. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
And I'm really going to bring a lot of energy today for you guys, and really excited. Now, if you look around, I see about 5 guys and all women. Okay, so we're gonna have a lot of fun today. We gotta get more men in Oregon, so we'll address that. But at the same time, women are the best. Would you guys agree? Good stuff, good stuff. And men, you need to get a lot of women on your team, and you'll be very wealthy. Is that okay? A lot of guys say, well, how can you sell skincare? I say it's easy. You just got to get in early and build a huge team of women, and you're financially free. That's that simple, okay? A lot of guys can't wrap their head around that, and that's why they're still broke. But the smart men are in the room today. Does that make sense? Good stuff, good stuff. Well, Jane shared a little bit of my background. I'll share, obviously it's not a market party, so I'll go a little bit more in depth with my story. But again, I don't want to bore you with just me, blah, blah, blah. It's not about me, but I think I can share a little bit about me that inspires you because I'm going to share the real story. Is that okay? Like the real story that you guys would be like, what? I thought he just was an Ironman. I thought he just went to the top. No. He just plows through his obstacles. No. About 10 years ago, well, I'll bring you back about 11 years ago, I was 23 years old, and I did go to college. How many of you ever tried college? Okay, yeah. I dabbled in college, okay? I thought I would definitely get a 4-year degree, and my dream, ever since I was in 8th grade, to be in the NBA and get a Division I scholarship, and that I did. I had some knee situations with my knee, but I did play Division I basketball for Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, and Tennessee as well. And ended up in my 3rd year after I scored about 24 points in a game and did very well. My coach pulled me aside on January 1st, 2004, the new year, and he said, Todd, I have some bad news for you. And I said, what, coach? His name was Brad. I said, what's going on? He said, your philosophy grades came in. I said, philosophy? Oh, I love philosophy. That's my favorite class. He said, well, you fail, and your overall GPA is a 1.9, and your scholarship is cut. And I said, really? Okay, so what does that mean? Well, you're going to have to pay $40,000 a year to attend here. I said, well, have a nice day, coach. And I quit college, seriously, just like that. A week later, I was home on my couch. What do I do? And actually, I was in sales, for a little while, so I started getting in sales. And then I got a phone call from a guy, my friend in college, that was named Brian, great friend of mine even to this day, and I support his nonprofit. We'll talk about it later. But I got a job on the spot to work for a guy, you might have heard of him, John Maxwell. Dr. John C. Maxwell. He sold 24 million books, but at the time, he's only sold maybe 2 million that I started working with him. So I traveled all over the world with John Maxwell for 2 years. I was with Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump, Max Lucado, David Robinson, all of the top, Ken Blanchard, the 1-Minute Manager, Michael Abrashoff, who wrote one of the best books I've ever read, It's Your Ship. It's Your Ship. It's the greatest book you can probably read in Miriam other than The Slight Edge. It's an easy ship. He was the commander-in-chief of a Pacific Fleet ship. It turned the #1 ship from the worst ship in the Navy to the best ship in the Navy, but he did it differently, and that's what we really do with our brand partners. He was an admiral who literally had lunch with the lowest level ranks in the Navy and got their advice and built camaraderie and morale. So I hung out with him. He looks like George Clooney, so I'm hanging out with him all the time. I was 21 years old. I was around these people. Does that make sense? So everything happens for a reason. I learned more in 2 years than any college education could ever give me because I was around the thought leaders of our day, the greatest thought leaders of our time and our generation I was around. And I did so well for John, I quit. Okay? So you're hearing from a 1.9 GPA to quitter. Okay? I quit because I sat down with Pat Williams, the senior vice president of the Orlando Magic. How many of you know who he is? Okay, he's the vice president of the Orlando Magic. He drafted Shaquille O'Neal, Dr. Julius Irving, in the 70s, played for the Philadelphia Phillies, and New York Times best-selling author. He has 21 children. 21 children. He adopted, I think, 19 of them. Okay, so he's an amazing man. So he actually flew me out to Florida, and he sat down with me, and he was John's best friend. He said, Todd, why are you working for John? Why not become the next John? That's when I quit. Does that make sense? So that kind of led me in network marketing, and about 10 years ago, I met a guy named Jeff Olson when I came to San Diego to help a couple of my friends start a church and everything, and I didn't really know what that looked like, but I was excited about kind of the future. And my mom, I grew up in, in Cadillac, so I know all about network marketing. My mom did it since I was literally born, in the 80s, and I got excited about that. But I know that everything rises and falls on leadership. So because of my experience with John, when I met Jeff, but I didn't meet him in person. I met him through a CD set. I always share this story wherever I go, because one of the most neglected things in Nurium is very few people will open up their package and listen to that CD set, the free CD set, Jeff Olson Success Training CDs. Guys, that made me a millionaire. That CD made me a millionaire in 7 years. I went from homeless, living in a futon, to buying a CD set. Remember the anti-skip things in Walmart years ago before the iPod? Yeah, that was my last $40. I bought that and I listened to it even though I wasn't supposed to in the car. Everywhere I went, I was a trainer on the side. And I literally listened to that CD set and built the San Diego market from 3 people to our market party. This was in another company, to 1,000 people a week on a weekly basis in our market party. Because all I heard was the Albuquerque story. You guys know what I'm talking about? The Albuquerque, where Jeff's from Albuquerque, and he met at the Good Earth restaurant, and just started building it weekly. And they actually got 2,500 people. I just was in Albuquerque last month, the first time I had a huge team out there, and a great marketplace. So I listened to that, and I made over $3.1 million in 7 years. And another company that was way harder than this, wasn't as sexy and cool as this, and it was mostly men. Okay. So when I came over to Nurium, it was real refreshing to not have to wear a 3-piece suit, not have to be so professional, like the sales, but really be casual because it's skincare. Give a bottle, try for 5 days, get out of here. I got someone skeptical. Give them a bottle, get out of here, right? It's not a pitch. Does that make sense? I never have to educate you in Nurium about, hey, would you like to get educated on why people want to look more handsome? Or why women want to look more prettier? Oh yeah, you know what? I never thought about that. Why do women want to look more prettier? Oh yeah, I never thought. You don't have to educate people. Does that make sense? It's like, here's an anti-aging bottle. Just try it for 5 days, and then they do, and then they love it. That's the whole business. But then everyone's like, well, this is so hard. I don't know. What am I going to do? It's like, are you kidding me? All you got to do is shut your mouth, give them a bottle, and get out of here. Does that make sense? And just be excited about it. But that's the gist of what we do, is it not? And what company in the world in anti-aging can literally say, give a bottle for 5 days, and they're going to see a difference? Not one. But it's a $300 billion industry worldwide. So I went to the very top of that company, top 5. Mark Smith was in the company. He's my mentor. Jeff was in the company as a consultant. And the only reason I was there was because of Jeff and because of his leadership. So when he left Nurium, oh boy, was I really hurt. Does that make sense? My mentors left. So I got started, but it took me 11 months to really kind of come over here. And when I came over here, it was just, all out. Like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And we ended up doing very well, blah, blah, blah. And we've already made well over $1 million since we joined Nurium, just a little 2 years ago. So it's just been an amazing journey. But let me take you back, and I'm going to start the training in the very beginning of my career with my first company. Does that make sense? Because a lot of you are at that point now where you don't have 10 years of experience like I do. You haven't been around Jeff Olson and all these great people like I have yet. But 10 years ago, here's where I was at. This is when I want to start the training. Because every time I get inspired, I always get inspired by people's real story. Does that make sense? I think stories sell, facts tell. So I just want you guys to know that every single leader in this business always had a start. So I signed up 10 years ago. I was living on a futon in San Diego, California. I had a problem. Okay, here's my problem. How many of you have a cell phone? Raise your hand. Awesome. How many of you have a car? I had neither. Okay? I had no money in my account. I came out to start a church with two of my friends. That went well, and that's continuing to go amazing. Okay? But I was a volunteer. and I was a trainer, so I ended up losing my job because my car was repossessed not once but twice. Okay, this is after I worked for John Match, everything. So I came out on faith because I read the book Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren from New York to San Diego, but I came also on faith of only $500 to my name. So I literally moved to Torrey Pines, California, which is in La Jolla, and bottled water is like 20 bucks, okay? So it's like one of the most expensive places on earth. I didn't know that. So I literally had to make a name for myself, and it took me 8 months, but I ended up with nothing, negative $200 in my bank account, 3 overdraft and draft charges for 3 different Red Bulls. Most expensive Red Bulls I've ever bought in my life, okay? $37, $37, $37, okay? No, and then I put my rent check bounced like $400. That was my rent, $400. I mean, now my mortgage is, times a lot more than $400, okay? That's kind of nice, $400, okay? Go back to those days. But living on I had one of the bedrooms in a house in San Diego. So that all happened September 6, 2004. I lost my job, I lost my car, repossession. I was negative my bank account, my phone shut off, all in the same day. I'll never forget. And that was the very last day I've ever worked for somebody else in my life. That day, I picked up a book called Failing Forward by John Maxwell. And I said, well, man, am I a failure or am I just failing forward? And I wasn't a failure. In fact, that was probably one of the best days of my life, and that's why I vividly remember September 6th at 6:35 a.m., my car was repossessed. At 9:31, I got the call from my boss saying it's not working out anymore. At 10 a.m., I checked my WAMU account. Remember Washington Mutual? Yeah, they even went bankrupt, okay? So if a bank goes bankrupt, you have some hard times ahead of them. But basically, that all happened that day. At noon, I was already on a legal pad writing out my dreams of how I want to become an author, how I want to become a leader, how I want to become a leader in the network marketing industry. I didn't even know what that looked like. So literally 2 hours, that was my bounce back. 2 hours, okay? So I don't know what your bounce back is when you're going through all that crap in your life. Does that make sense? And it could be in your business with Miriam International. It could be somebody quit on you, right? Somebody broke out. Oh my gosh. What are we going to do about this? Let's get Jeff on the phone. Somebody broke out. Oh my goodness. Get the darn bottle back and just give it to someone else. Does that make sense? Who cares, right? You just got to understand 150 million people want this product. You just got to have that. You got to think big. You got to dream big. And you can't let one little person affect you. Does that make sense? Our problems come from relationships. That's it. Think about that. The better that you are in relationships with yourself first and with other people, then you'll have a way better and easier life. Think about that. Okay? So when you know how to deal with people and you become a people person, even though I was an introvert, now I'm an introvert still, but a little bit extroverted. Okay, now I'm still like that, but I just had to get out of my shell and I had to get out of that I'm shy. So my first 5 months in network marketing, I had terrific success. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe my success. I showed up to every event on my bicycle. It was 15 miles away. I got on every conference call. True story. Went to all the regionals for 5 months. From October 22nd, October, November, December, January, February. And then March was the convention in this country. So for 5+ months, you wouldn't believe the money I made. You guys ready for this? I want you to write your notes. Zero. No money. I was broker after 5 months, if you can believe it, than I was when I started. Now, I had a little part-time thing on the side, of course, to survive, side personal training gig. So I would work so hard, personally training early in the morning, work my business that time with no cell phone. My first party, I went to a payphone at Target. I had to call my friends, who I didn't even know that many because I was only there for 8 months, and I wasn't like the connector guy. I didn't really have much of a network because I never keep numbers right from college. So I called 21 people I barely liked to come to my house, okay? And the phone number was like //11/ something like that. So the first thing I had to explain to them is when I called them is, who is this? Oh, it's Todd. Todd who? Todd from the church, right? Oh, I think I know. What number are you calling me on? Don't worry about that. Anyway, I'm having a get-together. The thing was, my roommate was my pastor, so that's not good either. And because I knew Sean, and I was like, Sean, me and Sean, pastor. Oh, okay. And I said, hey, would you mind coming out to the house? Blah blah blah. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. Well, I ended up having 3 people come over to my first party. 5 people came an hour and a half late on purpose. Okay, just to say, oh yeah, maybe chips and salsa, because they were broke too. But and my mentors came to do the party from Beverly Hills. I never even met them. My sponsors never even met my sponsors until that day. And I'm friends with one of them even to this day now. So that was I think it was Amit, but from Beverly Hills. And Amit was the one that gave me the Jim Rohn and the Jeff Olson. So that's the reason I stuck and stayed for 5 months and never quit, because of Mr. Jim Rohn in my ear and Jeff Olson in my other ear. And that's what kept me going and never missing. So I know a lot of you don't have to experience 5 months of not making money, because this is way too easy than that. Okay, it was a lot harder. It's like doing insurance sales. You have to get your Series 3, Series 6, and all that stuff. Here, it's nothing. It's just a bottle of anti-aging cream that works. Give it away, sign people up, assume the sale, and get rich. And this is what this is. Does that make sense? That's a lot different, okay? But I learned a lot through that process. And then I'll kind of close with this story, and then we'll move into the morning. There was a convention, just like there is in San Jose. And what do you think I said to my mentor when he said, hey, are you coming to Oklahoma City? First of all, I said I never want to ever go to Oklahoma City. What country is that in? Okay? Where's Oklahoma? Okay, there were all the Cowboys. That was our convention at the Cox Center in Oklahoma City in 2005 in March. So at the very, I kept saying no, I'm not. I didn't pre-register, nothing. And this is why, and this story is so important, because you never know. The cool thing about this business is you never know who's going to become a superstar. And I wasn't dressed like this. I didn't even look like this. I was broke. I wore baggy suits. My 5'9" roommate, who was about 100 pounds heavier than I was, I wore his suit, to all the market parties, I mean, it was. Do you guys know there's 2 different blacks? You guys know that, right? So like in the sun, you can see like, is that like brown and black, or what do you got going on there, right? Perry Ellis, $14.99 TJ Maxx, and then his suit from his grandfather, and then a tie that back then you had to wear ties and everything. Okay, that was me 10 years ago. Okay, it wasn't the guy I am today. Does that make sense? So I didn't look like this 10 years ago, where someone's like, oh yeah, okay, he's going to be a great leader. No. I was like the guy that was the negative guy in the back who didn't talk to anybody. So you just never know. So anyway, this convention was coming, but here's the point. The sled edge caught up to me. I got my first recruit named Jason Anderson. Let me tell you about Jason. He wasn't very sharp, okay? He wasn't sharp, okay? He was okay. But my first recruit, I sat down with him in San Diego. We had to sit down. He ended up getting started. So what do you think I did after that? 5.5 months. I finally got my first recruit. What do you think I did? I said, excuse me. I left the Starbucks, and I did the Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith. I'm happy. It's like that joy, right? So then all of a sudden, what do you think changed? My whole business changed. So instead of me saying, I'm not going to the convention, I got my first recruit, I called my mentor so excited, I got my first recruit. He's like, oh my gosh, you should go to a convention. So then I said to Jason, oh my gosh, guess where we're going tonight? Literally tonight, it was a Tuesday night, the convention started on Friday. I said, guess what you're going to do? You're going to drive your car, I'm going to come with you. I don't know you. Let's just put it this way. He found me attractive. Let's just put it that way, okay? And he's like, really? Okay, great. So just me and him hitting the road. We left at midnight on a Tuesday. And here's the thing, we had no money. He was broke, I was broke. He just spent his last money getting started with me, okay? But I'm a great salesman because I sold him on going. Does that make sense? At every gas station, I would have to go up to strangers and say, hey, would you like to fund my $1 million dream? I literally collected money at gas stations just to make it Oklahoma City. I lived off beef jerky and peanut butter and jelly, went to the convention, stayed with him and 2 other dudes I didn't know. You talk about uncomfortable, okay? Slept on the floor. And the hotel was crap. It was bad. I mean, there's like stains on the floor. But anyway, I said, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Okay. I mean, I gotta do things to change. I must change. Okay. Guess who the first speaker was? Oh my gosh, John Addison. How many of you have heard of John Addison? John Addison is the CEO of Primerica. He's a great friend of Jeff Olson. He's a great friend of the company I came from. He had this speech that revolutionized my life. You know what the speech is about? He says, if you're in the mud, You gotta not just get out of the mud, but explode out of the mud. He's from Georgia, okay? And he's like, quit listening to people more screwed up than you, okay? I said, I got a lot of people more screwed up than me that are telling me I shouldn't do this thing, including my mother, okay? And she was not screwed up, but I did listen to her at that time. That's the whole different story. What are you doing? You're crazy. You're making no money. But this talk was all I needed. It was 45 minutes. It was put on a CD. I later listened to the CD for 7 years. It was all I needed to hear. That following year, I was making a 6-figure income. I was on stage in front of 20,000 people making a 6-figure income. And after this, it's on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, I have glasses on and everything in that company. And guess who was the only person behind stage after my speech? Jeff Olson. And he said, congratulations, you're now famous. And that was a year after I was completely broke, in the very, very top of the Coliseum. Nobody knew me, nobody cared, and then a year later, everyone wanted my autograph. You guys get that? Or signed with what's called the profiles of success, right? So I say that story to tell you that all of the top leaders that you maybe look up to, and well, we've all had our thing. Does that make sense? But I think all of us, and all of us are not broke. I came from being broke, but some of the people in Nurian that are successful maybe weren't broke, but we all had our thing. Does that make sense? And all we did was we didn't quit. We just didn't quit. We didn't give in. Now, did I want to quit thousands of times? Yes. But my quit factor was maybe 1 minute to 2 minutes to maybe at the most 20 minutes. Does that make sense? It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to take 3 weeks off. I don't even take 3 weeks off now, and I'm a 4-star. Does that make sense? A lot of people are like, oh, I'm a director, but you know what? Times are tough. I have this thing going on. I'm going to take a whole month off. That's called suicide in your business. If you own a traditional business, would you go take a month off just because you didn't feel like it? Of course not. So that's what really this message today is. It's not just, okay, let's go through some slides, and I'm going to teach you guys. The slides are irrelevant to why you're doing it. Does that make sense? The why, and it's always how you do the how-tos. Well, I think Jeff wrote the book, The Slight Edge, because he got so sick and tired of people that were, or he got so sick and tired of the concept of so many sharp people that would come into network marketing, look good, smell good, have all of this potential, and fail. Why did they fail? Because they just quit. So he wrote that book out of almost anger, okay, years ago. And of course, now it's all over in these different languages. It's a best-selling book. But it's true. That book is, if all you did was the slight edge, every day get better and better and better and better, and just improve 1%. And Michael Jordan always says, when he was playing, the day he stops improving is the day he walks away from the game. Every single one of us has to improve. You're here today to improve. Does that make sense? You're here today to get better, and tomorrow you should be better than you are today, even if it's by 1%. Because after 100 days, you're 100% better than you are right now. And what do you think that means? Yes, she's excited. You should be excited because 365 days, you're going to be almost 400% better than you are currently. So what does that do for people that want to be on your team? So all of you want to build a big organization, right? Right? Okay, 3 of you. Great. Okay, why are we here? Did they say I'm going to do a horse and pony show over here? I'm not a stand-up comedian, but I don't know. But y'all get it, right? You want to build a large organization. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you envision yourself leading a large organization?
Yes.
Okay, do you or not? Okay. So let's say right now, Nurian bless you today, and they put 10,000 people underneath you. Would you be like, yeah, I'm so excited, or would you get kind of nervous and go, oh my God, 10,000 people, what do I do? Oh my gosh, I could barely lead myself. I barely got up today. Now I got to lead all these people. Oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. What do I do? What systems do I plug in? Oh my God, a lot of you would be overwhelmed, okay? So you've got to be ready. And in that 5.5 months, when I was broke, but my mind was working, I became ready to lead the organization. Leadership is responsibility. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So the key to this business, and I don't care what anyone tells you, the key is not how I do a real result party. The key is not how I do a 3-way call. That's not the key. That's part of it. The key to this business is simply how to lead yourself.
Amen.
And the second thing is leading others. So talking about leading yourself, let's just talk about that real quick. The people that are national marketing directors, are they motivated people?
Yes.
Do they show up on time?
Yes.
Do they stay late?
Yes.
Do they work hard?
Yes.
Are they there for you to take your three-way calls a lot of times? Yes. Do they serve your organization? Are they servant leaders? Do they dress sharp?
Yes.
Do they carry themselves well?
Yes.
Are they giving?
Yes.
Are they loving?
Yes.
Are they caring? You've got to be that. If you become that leader worth following and you're a good model, then people will come thousands of miles to be on your team. I'm at the point now, I just post something on Facebook and I got people calling me. I had a guy that's a network marketer that's been around in network marketing for 15 years, worked with Jeff Olson, emailed me. His name is Pat Walsh from Nova Scotia. Okay, Nova Scotia is way far from California, right? He goes and Googles, researched me, found me on YouTube, contacts me, signs up on my website, then says, I'm in, brother, lead me. Making $15,000 a month, he wants me to lead him. And I have no idea who he is. Does that make sense? That happens now more than ever. I recruited 6 people last month, 3 of which I don't even know who they are. And they're doing well. One was in Minnesota. So you're going to get to the point where word's going to get out about you. You're going to be a brand, and you want your brand to be a leader. Does that make sense? Because when I worked for John Maxwell, he's written 73 books. One of the best books he's ever written is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. The Law of the Lid, Law of Momentum, Law of the Big Mo, I should say, Law of Influence. Okay, all of these laws are so good for you to understand and learn in because it's not just about giving a bottle. It's not just about getting people to an event. It's when they say yes. Now, what are they saying yes to? You. So when they say no, understand they're saying no to you too. So you have to understand, why are they saying no? They're not saying no to the product. They're not saying no to the opportunity. They're saying no because they're looking at you. I can tell you story after story of people that said afterward, the only reason I signed up, I didn't even look at the magazine, I didn't even try the product. The only reason I signed up with you is because I could see fire in your eyeballs. That's the only reason I joined. Because I don't care what you were selling, I just want to be a part of what you're a part of because I can see it in your eyes. You're passionate. You're driven. I can see it in your eyes, and that's what I want to follow. See, people want to follow people that are on fire. Does that make sense? Not weird, though. You still want to be kind of cool, okay? You don't want to be a weirdo like, there I am 24/7, there I am, I'm going to be, oh my God, pouring all over your face. Okay. You got to be James Bond kind of on the outside. I might let you join my team, maybe. I'm just kidding. But you got to have that posture. Does that make sense? And so let's talk about, obviously, Nerd International we have here. How do we gain the posture? It's very simple. We have an opportunity that's unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. The reason that I'm here is because I saw something bigger and greater than the opportunity that I was a part of, that I was in the top 5, top 10 in the whole nation. Why is Nerd so great? Let's just start with the leadership. Again, this whole thing is about leadership, right? Jeff Olson's phenomenal. Jeff Olson is the millionaire maker. Jeff Olson just spoke at the United Nations. Do you know how cool that is? To speak at the United Nations when President Obama just spoke there, Leonardo DiCaprio just spoke there, the President of Israel just spoke there, and here we have our founder back even before those guys speaking in April on the subject of happiness. Okay, that's never happened before this industry. Our first year, $100 million. Our second year, more than double that. Our third year, double that. So we're about to be $1 billion a year company, and the only last company to do $1 billion within the first 10 years was Nu Skin in 1984. We've already done more in our first 2 years than Mary Kay did in the first 20 years. And they're now 3-point-something billion a year worldwide. Okay, we've already surpassed them in just 2 years, what it took them 20 years to do. And the cool thing about us is we have a lot of men in our company. Does that make sense? So it's unique in that aspect too. It's not a woman-only company like that is. This is men 40-50% and women, 50 to 60% are women, which is what I want anyway. Because if it was all men, that would be weird too. Okay, so you're doing skincare, but we have something so special. But I think sometimes people don't understand what Shark Tank is all about. How many of you like that show, Shark Tank? Okay, Mark Cuban. See, these people are just like you and me. Mark Cuban, Donald Trump, Steve Jobs, all these multi-billionaires, but they just had a dream, but they also got in a niche. They got in a niche in the beginning. See, in 1977, Apple really started, okay, as long as same with Microsoft, but now Apple's worth $700 billion. Okay, why? Because they created something in the marketplace that really no one has ever created. Now, is anti-aging new to the marketplace? No. But when you have something that works 30 to 67% in the first month more effectively than any other product in the world, and then the industry is a $300 billion a year industry that's going to go to $1 trillion a year by 2025, and we have the patent on not just the first ingredient, but the extraction process of that molecule in our organic fields of life in Texas, just with not one, but all three of our products so far. Guys, do you understand that Shark Tank would say, I'm in, I'll buy a company for $1 billion, okay? It's something that is unbelievable that exclusivity is there, worldwide is gonna be there. Next year, Asia, think about when Asia opens up. You know, I'm already setting a war room up. I'm asking, who do you know that's Asian? Who do you know that's Chinese? Who do you know that's Japanese? No? And really capitalizing on that because, you know, Singapore, for instance, makes America look third world, okay? It's like Dubai. So it's like when you go out to Asia, when someone says 150 bucks a month, they laugh at you. It's like, that's so cheap. How can it work? It's so cheap. But Americans are like, oh, I don't know. It's kind of expensive. To look my best and get compliments and to be prettier and more handsome, I have to think about it. I have to think about it. Get out of here. Okay, I'm kidding. But it's like, you know, what are we doing? So, but again, I think a lot of that comes from your own mindset. Does that make sense? I think a lot of times people think, well, man, this is too expensive. Those are your own thoughts. That's not true. In the world of anti-aging, that's nothing. Plus, you can get it for free. You know, I don't know, the 1,000 pack is kind of expensive. I'm only going to promote the 500. Why would you do that? Does that make sense? I only promote the 1,000. Now, the 500 is great too, but the 1,000 is much better for them because they're getting 20 bottles as opposed to 9 or 8, right? And you have a lot more tools in the marketplace. Plus, it adds value to them because they'll do, they're going to have to do twice the amount of work to get the same result if they just get 1,000, right? NMD is $150,000 a month. Well, you just have to get 100. I mean, without any customers, which obviously is never going to happen because you're going to have a lot of customers outside just recruits. But let's say if you got 150 recruits in a month, they just have to get the 1,000, right? That would be 150,000. Well, the same thing, you'd have to get 300 recruits to get 150,000 for the 500. And again, that's with no customers. So we have about a 30-to-1 ratio on 30 customers per brand partner, which is unbelievable. Okay, but think about that. So anyway, it's all in your mindset. So all I want to do is kind of help you with your mindset today. Think bigger. Think on a bigger scale than just Salem, Oregon. But this is going to be your hub, and it's a great hub, obviously, with the leadership that we have in the room and your market parties and your regionals. You guys already are blessed to have a great hub. Does that make sense? If Jeff Olson, years and years ago, can build 400,000 people on his team from Albuquerque, do you guys think that you can do pretty good in Salem? Yeah. Of course you can, right? But then from Salem comes Seattle. From Seattle goes Vancouver. Vancouver is where a lot of the Chinese population lives, which you can own China, right? Or any part of Asia. And then that's where our headquarters is in Canada. And then all Vancouver is the hub of Canada, which now you can own Canada. And then go down to Salem, you have what? California. You have Sacramento, Lake Tahoe. You have of course, all the way down where I live, San Diego, Los Angeles, Hollywood. I have celebrities on my team. How many of you ever heard of High School Musical? Zac Efron? Okay, well I won't mention his name, but the guy that was also famous with him is now on my team, okay? And we just did his real result party last week, okay? In his mansion. The thing about the people that did the party with him too are on the cast of Days of Our Lives. And one just went executive, who's about to hit regional, the main star of Days of Our Lives. And then the other girl, and they're the grandkids of Jennifer Aniston's dad on the show. And then the other girl just hit executive director. They literally stand on stage and say, yeah, we make more money than we know what to do with on the show. Because they're main stars. They're on every single day. But they say Miriam is much better. Isn't that cool? They say, yeah, we're on the top show, blah, 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 but Miriam is much better. Right? They mean that. They're calling me all the time. They work 14 hours a day, 5 days a week. And they're rank advancing like crazy. Because why? And they just did a market party in Ohio in the middle of nowhere, because that's where one of the stars is from, in the Ashtabula, Ohio. 200 guests this past Thursday, 200. And he's an executive, and he did the market. So I'm just saying, you guys realize what, because so Hollywood knows, people that are Emmy award-winning actors know what they have here. And they're rocking it, and they're rank advancing. They're still working 14 hours a day on a hit TV show, making $20,000 a week, some of them, okay? But they know that's not going to be forever. And they know that Nurium is better. You know, I look at people like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, some of my favorite quarterbacks, who make millions of dollars. Hey, when they retire, where's their money coming? Well, they got to be really good with their money now, right? Get a good financial planner. Peyton owns a bunch of Papa John's, right? But, you know, that's not residual income. That's a headache to me. Peyton's actually not as smart as he thinks he is, okay? He would get it, like Robert Cratch. You know how many of you know Robert Cratch? He's a great friend of mine on my team. He was a Super Bowl champion with Phil Simms for the New York Giants. He wears a Super Bowl ring. He's in Nurium. He says Nurium is much better than him in playing the NFL. Isn't that amazing? So Robert's understanding it because he already is at 100,000 or more a year residually. Him and his wife Christy from Minnesota, right? They're rocking it. He's a Super Bowl winner. But he told me, like a lot of these guys are bankrupt after 4 or 5 years. They make these millions and they spend all the millions, and then they have to go get a job. Imagine that, Super Bowl winner working at Costco. I mean, that just, nothing against Costco, but that would be kind of weird. Would you guys agree? After making millions and millions of dollars, then going to a 9 to 5. So all I'm saying, and I want to build this up, because you're probably like, oh, I didn't get the slide. It's not about the slides. It's about your vision of where we're going. And because you have a big vision, and you understand that we attract middle class and higher, nothing against middle class and lower, I still talk to as many people as I can, but man, would you rather expose the guy that works maybe at Mickey D's or the guy that just walked out of a Maserati? Which one? Most people are like, oh, well, he probably needs the work. No. Go to the Maserati guy. I'm not saying no, don't do both, because I love loving, caring, sharing, whatever. But I'm just saying as a smart, why does he have the Maserati? Because he's smart. He's probably successful, and he would get it, or she would get it. Does that make sense? So my posture, I expose sharp people. I expose millionaires. I'm not shy about it. I expose celebrities. I have a lot more celebrities than just the days of our lives. I got a celebrity on my team that's a 1-star. A 1-star national marketing director that recruited all of Chicago, basically, okay? We had 5 NFDs in Chicago, the only NFDs in Chicago, all because of him, because he tweeted about it. 5 people and 70 Lexus servers just in one city of 150,000 population. And it's the 3rd worst place to live in the world. Rockford, Illinois, okay? 70. The lady that started there is a celebrity there now. She never eats for free. Or she always eats for free, right? Because everyone she knows is, oh, you're the girl, you're the Nurium girl, high five, you know. Because she changed so many lives. And that was just a 1.5 years time. But again, it all started from my vision, and then going to Illinois, all of them are like, all ladies at the time, like, what do we do? I have no idea, I'm so nervous. They never spoke ever. And now they run one of the most successful market parties in the whole nation for over 1.5 years. When I ran the first market party out there, how many of you have seen the Kevin Costner movie? If you build it, they'll come. So we did wine and cheese for the first 6 months. We didn't even have a market party. Wine and cheese. And then finally, I said after the Dallas Bash, or 1.5 years ago, in July, I said, let's launch one, I'll come up. So I come up expecting like 50 people. Guys, there were cars parked everywhere, across the street. There was a line, like it looked like ants. Okay, it was just lined up in this place. They had to shut, it was almost like they had to shut the restaurant down. Half couldn't get in, but it caused so much gossip in that community in a positive way that we had to get a way bigger place, and we've been there ever since. And we broke 5 national marketing directors from that spot. Okay, 5. And they're all thriving. One's going 3-star, one's already 2-star, one's going 2-star. We're breaking 2 more in that market. That would be 7 this month. Tennille and Carrie, yep. So isn't that exciting for you to know that all we do is have fun, wine and cheese parties, but none of it's possible unless the leader, you, has the vision to lead an organization. Does that make sense? You got to get out of the, I'm just a follower. I'm just going to, oh, that was a great call. Oh my goodness, Jeff killed it. Wow, isn't he or she so motivational? I'm so motivated. Anyway, let's go wrap up Christmas presents. Okay? You've got to go from that follower to leader where you get on a call and like Jane would be, or like Libby would be, or any of the leaders, they would be like, that was great, let's apply. You guys getting that? So what you're going to hear today, if you guys can really hear me out, let me teach you how to take notes. Let me teach you how to receive the information I'm about to give you, because I'm going to go on a lot of how-tos, you know, boring stuff. And I'm going to go through the how-tos, but you got to know when you hear it and receive it, it goes from your, obviously your head, your heart, but it goes from your paper to action. I think that's my number one strength, is I can get on a call with Mark Smith on our corporate call, let's say, and he says, okay, this week is Toys for Tots. I can go like, okay, oh my gosh, I'm going to capitalize this. I'm going to go, let's have a team call. Let's get all our leaders together. Okay, Toys for Tots. Who's having the most market parties? Who's going to, you know, the thing right now that's on my tip of my tongue is 20%. You know, I don't care about rank advancements. I don't. So I want to give you this tip right now. This is the greatest tip I'll ever give you. You'll remember this a year from now. You'll be like, that was the one nugget I needed to hear. I honestly don't care about your rank advancement. It doesn't matter. That's a byproduct of this one tip. Ready for the tip? Oh, I forgot it. So anyway, let's just do it. The one tip is this. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You guys can stand up for me. I'll do a visual. This is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So when you recruit 10 people personally, or your team, let's say 10 people join your team this month, okay? You are responsible, you two sit down. You are responsible for getting 2 out of 10 fast start qualified. You guys think you can do that? And this month, all she needs to do is get 2 each, right? But typically, they need to get 3 each. Right. Now, these 8 people, you guys can sit down, but you guys get that visual, okay? These 8 people, they might not get fast start qualified, but they can lead you to somebody who does get fast start qualified, okay? Or not. Some of them might just quit. Okay, sorry. But if you can get 2 out of 10 in your team to fast start qualify, you're a millionaire. You're done. So when I talk about the how-tos, do you understand why you want to take notes now? Okay, how can I become better at getting someone in and then helping them get their 3? That's what I'd be most interested in today. The vision, the casting of vision, leadership, and simply how to get 20% fast start qualified. Because if you're only getting 1 out of 20 fast start qualified, that's not going to really rank you. Now, the reason I say rank advancements, I wouldn't worry so much about. Some people are like, I want to go ED. I want to get my Lexus. I want to go, regional. I want to go NMD. But a lot of those times, those people never hit those ranks. Why? Because they're focused on the wrong thing. It's like, I want to be a millionaire, but I'm not willing to do what it takes to be a millionaire. Like, who doesn't want their Lexus? Does that make sense? But the thing is, don't worry about it, because also it can stress you out, too. It can stress you out and make you jealous of, oh my gosh, she just got her Lexus. Doggone it, man, that girl, she came after me, man. And now you're comparing yourself, right? And you never want to compare yourself, okay? I know this group never compares each other, so that's good, right? But out there in California, we do. Does that make sense? Like, wow, and that really is detrimental to your confidence, right? All you should compare is your percentages of what you're doing. Does that make sense? So like, with even showing your leaders, okay, I'm at 20%, or I'm at 15%. If you can get at 20%, your organization just in 4 months will quadruple. I'm not kidding, quadruple. Because what happens? They get fast start qualified. Are they going to like, oh, this business is on? They're going to be really excited. Would you guys agree? Yeah. And then they get 2, and then because they fast start qualified, now they have a story. They're a brand. And maybe some of these people will come back later and still, not that if any of them miss, not that they're done, a lot of you are still in the game and you never fast start qualified, right? Okay? Like Mark Remus, who's one of the top 20 earners, he never even fast start qualified or got his iPad in 60 days, okay? So there are stories, but obviously I'm driving it 2 out of 10, okay, 2 out of 10. So with that said, how to take notes, I would write down in your notepad, what can I learn today? What do you need to learn today? What is your business struggling with? Are you open to coaching? Hopefully yes, right? Hopefully I have your permission to coach you today. And just really, because the point of today is not to make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Does that make sense? Now if you do, that's cool. But that'll wear off. Like going to a concert. You ever go to a concert, your favorite concert? Like who do you guys like? Jimmy Buffett? Okay. I'm just curious. I don't know. Black Eyed Peas? Justin Timberlake? You too? Okay, gotcha. No Eminem fans? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. But anyway, you know how you go to a concert, your favorite concert. I love Keith Urban. I go to Keith Urban concert. I'm just like right there. After that concert, man, for 2 days, I'm buying Keith Urban CDs. I'm buying his posters, even though I'm 33 years old, right? I'm thinking about getting a cross tattoo like he has. But then what? 3rd day, that was good. 4th day, I don't even know if I like him anymore. 5th day, I think Tim McGraw's better. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like the perspective of just oh, that was a great event. I want you to take home something. If that was it, that was it. Okay, that's a huge thing because now you need to learn how to get 2 out of 10 fast-start qualified. But I want you to take home something that really is going to add value to you and build momentum for the next regional. And then you'll have a bigger team at the regional, and then they're going to take away some things, and then see how that progresses each month. And then a year from now, maybe you hit NMD or less, and you become that leader that you want to be. Okay. So with that said, do you have anyone has a clicker for me? Okay. Perfect. All right. So let's learn some things. You guys ready? Okay. So with that said, remember your objective is to get really good at #1 recruiting personally. I should say consistent at it, and also really learning how to get people fast start qualified. That's really it. Because leadership will come, and the respect will come, and the influence will come for you if you get people fast start qualified. And believe me, if you're getting your team paid, or they're going to be like, you know what, I don't know if I like her. They're going to love you, right? Because if you're getting your team paid, the people are just going to really respect you, and you're going to gain more influence anyway. And with more influence, you get more recognition, more, not that that's everything, but again, more influence, people edify you more. And if they edify you more, people have a different perspective of you when they join your team. And then when you call them, they're like, yeah, what up? Yeah, what's your name again? They're like, oh my gosh, Todd, thank you for calling me. I heard about you. What an honor. What can I do for you? And I just tell them, go do a party. They're like, well, absolutely. If you tell me to do one, I'll do one. Does that make sense? It's a very powerful thing, So that's what we want to build is that influence for you. So it all starts with a plan. Would you guys agree? So we have to have a plan of action, a plan of attack. And what I love about Nurium is we have 2 parts of really the compensation. I don't know if you kind of heard it this way. So let's say this group is BP to director, okay, this group. And then this group is a senior director to NMD and beyond. So congratulations, guys. You got it right, okay? So this group comes later. So this group, again, that group has this group. This was your best friend, right? Was your best friend. This group, this is your best friend until you get the what? Lexus, okay? So the success planner is your guide to success. It's the roadmap to Lexus. You can all get your Lexus. Let's say today's your first day. If you follow 8 points a day for 90 days in a row, you'll get your Lexus. I can guarantee it. Seriously, if you do 8 points a day, and with the 8 points though, 8 points is meaningless if you don't do 2 a day. So, I got an email, I read 3 emails, that's 3 points. I did my 10 pages, that's another point. That's okay, good for you. Okay, congratulations. But that doesn't do anything. You've got to do 2 a day first and then 8 points. Okay, now if you do that for 90 days in a row on day 1, you will graduate to this group. Okay, now this group, you all are going to graduate to what's called the achievement system and the achievement planner. Does that make sense? I'm going to talk a lot about that in the back half today. They're going to have a leather-bound planner that Jane is on, Libby's on, Lori and all these people are on, right? But again, you guys are not on because you just want to carry that around everywhere you go and plan your conference calls, plan your day before the day starts, and that's it. And all of you have lives, kids, jobs, outside the business. Never let that take away from your passion of your vision of Nurium. A lot of people say, this is the worst excuse you give me. Todd, you know that I'm only part-time, right? That's just an excuse, meaning I'm not doing anything. Leave me alone, okay? You've got to master this concept. You guys ready for this? Master being full-time in your part-time, okay? This planner will help you. One of the things I mean is we get so sucked into Facebook. I would recommend don't look at Facebook throughout the day about business. Go through the, we all are guilty of it. Does that make sense? So let's say you had an hour a day. That's it, an hour a day to build your business. The last thing I want you on is Facebook. What does that have to do with anything? Well, I'm looking for prospects. No. Just you should already take out your phone, make a list. All you got to do is call 2 people a day minimum. Literally call them, not Facebook them. Call them because you already made a list. We're going to go through that. And you're going to expose them. 2, maybe even 3. Wow, what if you do 3? 3 exposure a day. That's good, right? You're an overachiever, right? But just 2 a day, 5 days a week. You're going to want to do more eventually. But then what do? You call them, you expose them, and then you do a 3-way call. You go to market party and all that stuff, but that's on top of it. That's the hour that you want to put into it, not a YouTube video or cleaning your office or ordering business cards. That's not anything. It's called Z activity. You always want to have phase 1 activity. Like for me, I recruited 6 people on the past 20 days. I post about it on Facebook. 2 days ago, I got 500 likes on my recruit, welcoming them to the team. Do you know what that does to my team psychologically? They say, wow, he's recruiting. What does it do for them? Do I have to say everyone must recruit? No, I don't have to say anything. I just say, hey, can you guys welcome so-and-so to the team? And they're like, welcome. But they're saying, well, shoot, if he at that level is still recruiting, I'm still a director here, I need to recruit. Does that make sense? So when you recruit, you build this momentum, and it's called law of the big mo. So when you're part-time, be full-time in that recruiting, and the 3-way calls, and the market parties, and the wine and cheese, and then eventually you'll get your Lexus above. Oh, by the way, all you guys over here, let me talk to this crowd. When you have your Lexus, is it really a big deal? No. Did I say that? It's cool. Everyone say it's cool. No, you have to say it like this. It's cool. It's not. It's cool. No, it's cool. Okay? Don't be like, I got a Lexus cerner for 2 years, and you're just like, I'm a Lexus cerner, but I fell back like 8 months ago, but I got it once. Okay? Does that make sense? Just use it, and it's a cool little thing. Would you guys agree? Especially when you get your car, it's cool and you can leverage that. But as soon as you get your Lexus, here's what I know: you are in an awesome position to go explode momentum. So this group needs to really get focused on the Lexus, following this, going a 90-day run, because as soon as you do get it, especially the actual car, you need to take advantage of every moment of that, meaning posting on Facebook, your team's tagging you, and then you're going to get more leads, and then from there, you just have to help 3 people get their Lexus, and now you're an executive. And then after executive, again, it all comes down to this. You're going to have, the cool thing about Lexus, you're going to have what? More people or less people on your team? More. So if you have more people, now you're going to get to 2 out of 10, 2 out of 10, and that naturally will get you to executive and regional and NMD. You guys getting this? But even at NMD, everyone's saying, that's cool. That's cool. You hit NMD. Now, don't think NMD is like, I've arrived. Humble yourselves and bow. Okay? I show up late now. I don't even need to go anymore. $50,000. I would go bankrupt at $100,000 a year. Does that make sense? I live in California. I got to make $1 million a year to survive. I'm not even kind of kidding. Okay. So NMD, high five, back to work. But what I did is I leveraged it where I went 2-star, 3-star, 4-star so much quicker because I understood, oh, that's cool, but now I got to help. And by the way, all the NMDs in the room, I promise you are passionate, because once you hit NMD, even Alexis, what do you feel? It's almost like a huge responsibility for your team now. Does that make sense? So at the NMD level, you're like, okay, I'm going to go help as many people as I can to push them up. Because all we do is push people up here, and it all starts with fast start qualifying. That's it. So I think, and I know a few things, I think if someone gets fast start qualified, they should get more recognition than the Lexus. That's what I think. Because the Lexus is just a byproduct of fast start qualifying. The NMD is just a byproduct of getting fast start qualifying. I think that's the position. Because after that position, now that person's what? I got this. I'm good. Not that they're good like they know everything, but that they feel confident that Nurium is their home. You guys getting that? I'm giving you nuggets right now. Yeah. like 2.5 years of my experience, and I figured it out after 2.5 years. So I'm giving it to you for $20 per person, okay? Okay, that's gonna make you a lot of money. But that really is the core of our business. Now, I wouldn't edify them like they're, well, I'm just saying, like, really emphasize that and really recognize people when they do fast track. Make a big deal about it. Have a little text thing going or post about it on Facebook, whatever you feel comfortable, but make sure that you make them feel special because they are special. And then, but at the same time, okay, iPad's next. How do we get iPad? Get more people and help them fast track qualify, okay? So the nurturing culture, just a couple things about this. I mean, obviously we have a culture of not just money, 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 cars. I mean, our culture is giving back, helping people. I actually recruit people because of this. Have you guys ever tried recruiting people because of our culture? It really, really works. It's the big brothers, big sisters, the success for teens, you know, the live happy. That happiness movement is a big deal. If you Google happiness, over 11 million things come up. So happiness is such a big deal nowadays. So we are really the ambassadors. I really think of us as happy ambassadors to this country because we're in the happiness company in the world. We're like that. We're like the Disney of network marketing. Okay, it's really we have the gear. So I always love seeing people with the Live Happy hats and the Live Happy shirts. How many of you guys have that? That's really cool. Just live happy. You'll walk into like an airport, right? Live happy. What's that? Oh man, it's a company. Our company's all about happiness. Really, what company do you work with? Oh, and they're international. Here's a magazine. Check it out. You're in the grocery store. Live happy, right? Oh, live happy. I'd like to live happy, right? It's not live negative, live broke. Live happy. It's live happy, right? Happiness is more than money. It's more than anything. People just want happiness, okay? And that's attractive to people. So I would use the kind of culture that we have already for your benefit. Does that make sense? With your team, and people will stay for the relationships. They won't stay for the money. I mean, they will, but there's people that I know that if it wasn't for the relationships when they were struggling, they would have quit. So if you're not building that relationship on that loving, caring, sharing, that's the most important. That's the core, because you're getting people to trust you. You're getting people to like you. You're getting people to really look up to you and really, you have that bond. And then when times get tough, they might feel like quitting, but because of our culture and our pillars and our philosophy and they're not going to quit. Does that make sense? Unless you don't ever really show that. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this. I'm gonna kind of run through these slides now, but I would write on your notes. This is really what Jeff Olson showed me many years ago. I would put the number 1 on your notes. Put number 1. Underneath number 1, put 5, and then under 5, put 25, and then draw a line under 25. Okay. And then under the line under 25, put 125, and then 625, and then 3,125. So this training, now this talks just about the hours. You have obviously 5 people on your team that put in 5 hours. You're gonna have a lot more manpower, obviously, a lot more leverage. But what Jeff Olson taught me 10 years ago was this. He said, Todd, you have to become. So what does the number 1 stand for in your notes? You. So you've got to become core. Now, what he's talking about is core. This is not just find 5 people. Okay. What this is talking about is find 5 core. So I've always believed in law of attraction. How many of you believe in law of attraction? Okay. It's really, really crazy actually. When you're actually in that alignment, and I'm going to talk about really the secret of all this at the very end. But when you're really in alignment with your vision and passion, and you're in alignment with life. Would you guys agree, like, life is really awesome? And, like, things just, like, happen you wouldn't even believe happen. But as soon as you're out of alignment, right, and there's negativity, and there's hurt, and there's a grudge, and there's a past, it's almost like nothing good happens to you ever. It's like that saying, which is my worst favorite saying. It's like, when it rains, it pours. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, okay? But it's true, though. When it rains, it pours on that person not in alignment and not in where their passion and strengths are. Would you guys agree? When you're in your zone, yeah, it might rain, but it's not pouring because you know how to handle it. Does that make sense? So in the business, it's the same idea where you're going to start part-time, but you need to become core as soon as you can. What that means is it's the 8 points a day. I'll just give you an outline. Like for me, and again, this is me, a core person is someone that shows up to market parties. Would you guys agree? Yeah. Somebody that comes to the regional. So far, you guys are doing great, right? Goes to San Jose. Somebody really doesn't have excuses. They have issues, they have challenges, but they never use that against their own selves. Remember, you have to lead yourself first, right? So you just become core. So you're doing your 2 a day. You're on the calls on Sunday and Monday webinar, et cetera, et cetera. You're just plugged in. That's all that means. So once you're plugged in, what's going to happen? You're going to have a lot of people come into your business, and some will go and some will come. But eventually, let's say after your first year, you got 5 of you. Oh, happy day. Would you guys agree? And then the second year, those 5 get their 5 of them, which is a resemblance of you. So after, let's say, your second year, you have 25 of you doing 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 2 a day. You know, they're showing up. After you surpass 25, you know that line I told you to make? 25 become 125, you're a millionaire. That's it, that's the line. So all you got to do is really get 25 core people. And I'm not saying core for a week. Oh, I got my 25, Todd. They're all here today. Well, that's cool. That means they're still followers. But I'm talking about people that you trust, that are self-motivated. They'll do it even if you quit. Does that make sense? They're in it to win it. And it might take you 2 years. What if it took you 10 years to get 25 core people and you still became a millionaire after 10 years? Would it really matter? No. Can you do that at a job? No, never. Can you even make 6 figures residually at jobs? No. That's why they're jobs. You work for someone else that does. That's pretty much what that means. So this is something that, yes, you get more hours, and that's awesome. But man, once you have 25 or more that are core, your life just became what? Incredible. Because you don't have to put as much time in, and you have that freedom just for the small things in life, okay? That's what I love about this business is the freedom. 5 years, again, this is the kind of the money thing. Remember, it took me 5 months to recruit one person, right? But it ended up getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's the same with this residual income here. So let's say your first month, you make $222 in residual income. First and foremost, Social Security checks are average $1,300 a month, if that. So you work for 30 years for someone else and get a $1,300 check for Social Security when you hit, what, 65 or 67 years of age? Oh, happy day, you know. What a great birthday party that's going to be, you know. Now I'm going to be way broker than I already am, and I'm 67, and you also need nursing at that time. Does that make sense? So it's a depressing part, right? It doesn't have to be, obviously, because you guys are here. So let's say your first month you make $222 in residual, but you got a spouse. Let me talk about your spouse. Can I do that? You got our significant other that's like, what are you doing? Are you a fool? I mean, you spent how much money to go to San Jose? $1,000, and your first month you made $220. Quit. Just quit. This is silly, right? And a lot of people are like, yeah, you're right. They do. Where else in a month in America can you make $220 a month in residual? Not much. Where else can you start a business for $500 or $1,000? Well, a month later, you're getting a residual check. Not much. You guys getting this? How amazing this is? And then your second month, oh, it doubles. Third month, fourth month, fifth month, sixth month, now you're at $1,840. But you're putting a lot of time in, a lot of energy, right? And again, spouse says, $1,800, that's it? Really, after 6 months of doing this? Oh my gosh, are you sure you really want to do this, right? But if you just stick and stay to the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th month, that's $10,780 in residual, let's say, right? Now what is the spouse saying? Oh, high five, I knew you could do it. Unbelievable, I just lost my job, thank God. You got Nuri around? I'm a stay-at-home dad now, I guess, right? Awesome, thank you, babe. That's what happens. It happened to Frank Filipponi, a good friend of mine, Marielle's husband, okay? She didn't even tell him that she did it until she got the Lexus. Or she did, but he didn't want her to do it. She did it anyway, and then pulled up in a $60,000 Lexus when he came home. And he's like, all right, I need to do it, high five, okay? So even at the Lexus level, when you actually physically get the car, a lot of spouses are like, all right, can I drive it? No, you cannot drive it. Okay? I'm sorry. Have fun with the business, right? Okay. So this is my favorite slide of the day, not because of the, all the corny pictures, but it's my favorite slide because let's talk about you. Let's talk about your why. One of the first questions I do want to ask you though is not so much your why. It's I don't really like asking that question because it's such an open-ended question. What's your why? It's almost like what's my why? What are you, weird? I mean, like what? I'm going to give you a couple questions that I asked the new brand partner that really is effective, okay? But it really is, like, what is your why? You know, if money wasn't an issue, if time was an issue, what would you do? So number one question I would ask if we're having coffee right now in my game plan interview with you is, of course, I would ask permission. You know, hey, can I ask you a couple questions? Of course, I would get to know them, form family, occupation, recreation, motivation, you know, that 5-minute conversation. But I would say, look, what's the most important thing right now at this moment in your life? What's the most important thing in your life? And everyone that I ask that question to, they're kind of taken back by that. They're like, oh, that's a big, I don't know. And I might say, well, tell me about your credit card debt. Some people don't have any. 80% do. What's your APR? Oh man, I don't even know. Like 25%. Are you able to pay that every month? No. Do you have any student loans? Yeah. How much is that? Oh my gosh, 6% on $250,000. What are you doing with your degree? Nothing. Can't find a job. This is typical, 2014, right? Does that make sense? Okay. What about your rent? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's a struggle. I mean, I'm just trying to get to the heart of their current reality. Not, oh, I want to retire my parents. I want to live in Hawaii and Maui. All that stuff is cool, but I don't really care about that because what do I want to do again? Fast start, qualify them. That's all I want to do. I want to get enough information where I can literally get them fast start qualified and then have another game plan. And then once they go director, have another game plan. How to get the Lexus. Then have another. And then finally, I'm going to get all the 5 years from now and all of their what they want to do and their vision. But again, that new person doesn't need to have a 2-hour orientation with you on their why. Does that make sense? I just need to find the root of the problem and what their current reality is. The second question I'm going to ask them is how do they see Miriam tying into their already busy lifestyle? Okay, so if I had a glass right here, I had ice in the glass. You guys can visualize that. If I take a bottle of water, so the glass and the ice represents their life, maybe their business they have, their job, their kids. I pour the water represents Miriam. What happens? The water goes around everything, right? So that's the culture I want to breed in my organization is I want Miriam to be the water. I want Miriam to be in their already busy lifestyle. For instance, they all have lunch breaks. They can take 2 magazines and go expose 2 people every day simply on their lunch break. That's, instead of saying I'm too busy. They can get on 2 or 3 calls a week while they're maybe vacuuming or something, right? I just wanted it to be tied into their already busy lifestyle, okay? The third thing is I would say, where do you see yourself a year from now? Just where do you see yourself a year from now? Okay, because I do want to get a little bit of vision going. So that's it. So those are the 3 questions that I would ask you. I would ask the new brand partner, and then I would listen. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. So you have to be an aggressive listener to your people. That's probably one of the biggest traits that I can give you is when people talk on your team, listen. But what does Tony Robbins always talk about? He says, to improve the quality of your life, you have to improve the quality of your questions. So what's your why is a question. What's the most important thing right now in your life is a quality question. So you're going to get a quality answer, which you now know the heart of the person that you can get quality results. And when I was broke, I had asked myself the question, why? 23 years old, worked for John Maxwell for 2 years. Why am I broke? It's because I didn't have a system. I didn't have an opportunity. So when I got in front of network marketing, I made a decision. This was my opportunity, and I made a name for myself because a lot of people don't have what you have. That's why I love to recruit people because once they see this for what it is, then they can really have a shot at really becoming something great. That makes instead of just having a job. One of the things I don't understand is America. And again, I don't want to offend anyone, but if you have a job, I'm not here saying jobs are bad and job quit. I'm just saying what I was not attracted to is having an average job, having an average life, coming home to an average TV show. Because people don't pay for average. Have you ever wondered? So if you're on a date, let's say, if you're dating, or let's say you're married, do you guys think that this would be something that you would do? You go to your spouse and say, hey babe, I got a night planned for you. I mean, this is good for the night, okay? First of all, let's not go to the 5-star restaurant, 4-star restaurant. Let's go to a 2.5-star restaurant tonight. What do you say? Maybe a 1.5, I'm thinking. Maybe fast food even. After that, let's go see a movie. But not like a critically acclaimed movie, not the fun movie. Let's see the movie that no one's watching. Okay? Average movie below average. Do you think you're going to have an average night after all that? Oh, heck yeah, you are. Okay? So no one pays for average, okay? You guys get that on the way out. No one pays for average. So the whole point of that is I don't really know. But it was funny. Okay, but the thing is, we're way above average, and I don't want an average life. Do you guys want an average life? Okay. I mean, what we're about to do next year is we're going to go all over Asia. I mean, you have the opportunity to, you don't even have to live in the country anymore if you don't want to in the next couple of years. You can literally live in Europe doing this business. You can live in Italy if you want doing this business. You can live in China, Asia. You can live in Singapore half the year doing this business and the other year in South America. You don't even have to live in this country if you don't want to. How cool is it? You're going to get international currencies coming into your Paylution account in the next couple of years doing skincare where everything is going to be on your iPad and you're going to be the commander-in-chief of your business. Wow. Isn't that cool? Okay. So, okay, the new brand partner, I kind of already talked about this. Oh, look at that. That's our qualified. Okay, good. And 3 are free. Now, 3 are free is so vital because when I look at my 23rd of each month and I get the volume, by the way, let me teach you about the 23rd of the month. You guys ready for this? Leaders especially. I do not base my goals on the 23rd. The 23rd is just bonus for me. I don't base my rank advancements. I don't base my qualifications on what we do in the back end. That's a huge nugget for leaders. Because I know a lot of leaders that are NMDs or whatever, or regionals, they base, okay, I'm having a bad month, but I can't wait for the 23rd because it's going to go all the way and everything's going to be great again. Well, if you're having a bad month, it's going to continue to get worse if you're basing on past. You guys get this? See, in this business, we're in the business of momentum. So it's all about new people, new people, new people, new people, and how many new people join your team, not the past people. But I tell you what, the 23rd is amazing too, though, at the same time, because that's your residual, that's your income for your future. And one of the best ways to have a huge 23rd is really get everyone 3-year free qualified. Why get everyone 3-year free qualified? There's a couple of psychological reasons. If I'm getting my product for free, why would I ever cancel? No, nobody cancels when they get it for free. People might cancel it because, maybe 150, they get financial whatever, but get them 3-year free qualified so they're not paying anything. Well, some people don't even care, which is fine too, because they don't care, I don't even need it, I'll just pay 150 forever. That's okay too. But the people that are kind of like wishy-washy, like, I don't know, 150, that's a lot of money. You need to get those 3-year free qualified right away. Because if you do, and you really promote that within your organization, your leaders are on it, you're on it, that 23rd, what's going to happen in that 23rd of each month, your volume is going to really be exciting. And you're going to have a sticky business that really gives you a good residual income, okay? Of course, getting people fast start qualified at 20%. You do those 2 things, you're looking at a great future. Would you guys agree? Okay, so why the 8-point system? We talked about this. Power part-time, duplication. This is the 8 points. Now, why are these things more than these things? So I'm not that smart, but I'm kind of smart about a few things. So would I rather do this or would I rather do this? This, because I can host 2 wine and cheese parties or 3 parties a day, and I get 8 points a day. Just all I got to do is do 2 parties a day. Now I can go on Skype and do one of them, and I can go physically to one. I can do 2 on Skype. I just got 8 points. Or I can read an email, attend a call, that's 2. I'm going to have to go read 10 pages, that's 3. I'm going to have to promote 5. Oh my gosh, I'm already full-time. It's like a full-time job now. Does that make sense? So I'd rather just say, okay, train my new guy or gal, do a party or 2, 8 points a day. And of course, again, remember though, none of this matters unless you do what, class? 2 a day. So I'm doing my 2 a day, calling it on Skype for 1 party, closing it as an expert, and then hosting my own or hosting a party for someone else. That's over 8 points a day, 5 days a week. That's all I gotta do. To make a 6-figure income, what? Are you guys getting how easy this could be? But again, they're like, well, I did my 10 pages. That's cool. Okay, I mean, that's good for you. Okay, I'd rather just go to YouTube and watch Tony Robbins for 10 minutes, and then while I'm calling in on Skype, okay, I'm doing both at the same time. Okay, so you just have to think smart, not hard. This is a great slide. I think you guys should take a picture of it, memorize it. This is really the rhythm. This is our system. So again, a lot of people get into business, but then they kind of get pulled out of what? They get pulled away from what? Life, right? Life, right? They get the constant pull, that apathy, natural human instinct common to us all, which we constantly seek our comfort zone, which nothing ever changes. That's what apathy is. Apathy is your enemy. I implore you to find an enemy. Okay? Apathy would be a great enemy. Because when I have an enemy in my life, I'm not talking about a person, I'm talking about a thing, I become much more effective. Would you guys agree? When you have something that you're kind of mad at, and you're just like, man, I got to change that. Like, let's say you're overweight. I used to be a trainer. Can I talk about this? So let's say you're 50 pounds overweight. It's the end of the year. I just talked to someone on my team that she used to be a bodybuilder, but then she gained like 50 pounds. And she just talked to me about it because I love talking to people about their physical, being and stuff. Because if you're in shape or you're in, you feel more energy. Would you guys agree? So she was out of shape and she's now getting into shape. But that's your enemy. You're 50 pounds. Like if you really held 50 pounds of fat, like if you held it, you would be disgusted. Does that make sense? You'd be like, that, how? Every pub be like, yes, you'd be pretty big. That would be your enemy. And you can put it on your, you can put it on your mantle, and you have the treadmill looking at it, and you'd be a lot more motivated. Would you guys agree? But some people need the awareness of the fact, and the fact could be anything. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. So, and I love the physical example because we're all there, we're all working out, we all want to, but that's the example. So if it's in our face every day, then obviously we're going to improve ourselves. So this is in your face every day, and it's here for you Sunday night, Monday webinar, Tuesday corporate call, Wednesday, recruiting calls. This is in your face every day, but you just got to make sure it's in your particular face. Does that make sense? And you got to know why you're on these calls, because you're trimming the fat of financial, your hardships. You're trimming the fat of problems, challenges, especially financially. And money is a big deal. Would you guys agree? Like without money, I don't care how spiritual you are, how much you have faith. When you got bills on your bed that are bigger than your wife, and it's holding her down, and she's all depressed about it because that's stress. And no one in this room likes stress, right? Stress causes health problems, heart attacks, death. Okay? And the number one thing in the world is people struggle with money, right? You don't have to do that anymore. And it's what you do with the money that counts. It's your heart about money. Money's I hate to say this because I don't want to offend anyone, but it is a game. It's not like, money's part of life, but it doesn't have to be life. You can get the money thing off your back, but then really live your life, not because you're money driven. But if you master the game of money, which really is, I hate to call Miriam a game, because again, I don't want to offend anyone, but I kind of look at it as kind of like, I don't know, a game. It's fun. Games are fun. So I do look at Miriam as fun, right? So once you master the game of leadership and building a team and money and what you can do with the money and that education that comes with money and financial IQ, it just really, you start dreaming about what you're going to do with the money. So let's say you want to start a nonprofit. Let's say you want to give back to your parents. And I happened recently, over a year ago, to make a phone call to my mom, who was losing a house that her parents died in, my grandparents, at 96 and 95. The bank was going to take it. She didn't have enough money. She was crying to me, but little did she know I already bought it underneath her and gave it to her. Okay? So here's the goal. And it happened to be the place where, she was there for 16, 17 years in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, on the ocean. So she's happy now and always taking selfies with my dad on the beach. Okay? Their biggest problem is selling the New York house now, because that's where I'm from. So, but it's great. I mean, to do that is cool. Would you guys agree? And it takes money to say, hey, Mom, don't worry. Okay? That takes money. But it's a game. It's fun. Like, I work hard so I can make that call. Like, I envision that call. So all these conference calls I get on, I'm envisioning that one call I can make. I also envision the call to my friend Brian, who is starting this wonderful nonprofit called Whisper. And it's whispering, meaning helping people worldwide find their passion in life through a whisper, or purpose in life. Because your purpose in life is not, it's going to be a whisper. It's what you're passionate about, but most people don't even get the opportunity, like they don't grasp the fact that opportunities are all around us, but it's a whisper. It's not do this, right? And they have to really learn how to listen to that whisper. Okay. So anyway, I'm helping funding that. Okay. So there's a lot of things that money can do. Okay. And that's what we want you to obviously get on these calls, learn the game, understand really what our system is. Okay. Read corporate emails. I would say every email is pretty amazing. Okay. I mean, what we have here. This is one. CMO Amber Olsen Rourke, American International win 7 Stevie Awards. That's like winning 7 Academy Awards. Okay, our company, one of them was Business of the Year. Okay, I mean, you guys, that's insane. That's like the Academy Awards for business. Okay, we did that was just not even a month ago. Study personal development. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Personal development, personal growth. You know, there's books obviously here that we want to read. I'm going to give you 5 books that I recommend your first 12 months to read. Okay, I always recommend this at regionals. 5 books. Some of them are right here. So what do you think the number 1 book is? Slide Edge. Okay, everyone gets it for free. Everyone needs to read it. It's the foundation of your personal growth. I also would ask you this question: what is your personal growth plan right now? What is your personal growth plan right now? Okay, if you don't have one, you need to get one. Okay, now I'm not just saying, well, I'm going to read a book. That's my growth plan. No. All aspects of your life. How are you growing? How are you growing your finances, your relationships, your mental, your cultural, your spiritual, your family, your friendships? These are going to be books not only that enhance your financial life, but a lot of these books are going to enhance other aspects of your life. How many of you feel like, how many of you are part-time Nurians? Okay. How many of you feel like Nurian has made you stronger in your career outside Nurian? Okay. It's made you more confident, you know, more outgoing maybe, more people person. That's what we have here. So the first book would be the Slide Edge. The second book I would recommend is Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And I'm not just recommending it because it's on the slide. It really is one of the greatest books I've read that got me out of the mindset of corporate America and the 9 to 5 and working the corporate ladder, because it's the Rich Dad and Poor Dad. The Poor Dad was the PhD in education and the superintendent of Hawaii. The Rich Dad was 8th grade education. His best friend's dad, Robert's best friend's dad, who owned most of Honolulu. Okay, the real estate there, 8th grade education. So it's not so much about your education, but more of your financial IQ education. That's what makes you wealthy, not reading the book about George Washington, okay, or biology, okay, or getting a degree. It's how to balance your checkbook. It's what an asset is versus a liability. I mean, isn't school supposed to position you for growth financially? Isn't that the point of school? How come nobody knows about anything about finances in school? It's so weird. Does that make sense? Like, hey, we're going to position you for a great career, but we're not going to teach you how to balance a checkbook ever. We're not going to teach you about debt. We're not going to teach you about profits and assets and liabilities. We're going to teach you, go finance a car. We're going to teach you, go buy a house, because that's the American dream. It's called a mortgage. You know what mortgage stands for? Debt. Yeah, it does. Okay. Hey, we're going to teach you to be a W-2. And in the W-2, we won't tell you that the IRS steals 50% of your income every single check. But we're not going to tell you that secret because we're not allowed to, because the IRS told us not to. Oh, it's called Social Security, which is called Social Security tax. Okay, income tax. Okay, that's why I'm moving to Vegas. Okay, anyway, non-income tax thing. But isn't it true? Even though we might not like to hear that, I mean, it's true. You know, if you're a W-2, guys, you are working from January 1st to May for free. Isn't that sad? For free. You're in your car every day, making your breakfast, going there early, early, tired. For 4 or 5 months out of the year, you're working for the government. And then the rest of the year, you're working for yourself. But then you get your Costco bill, you got your mortgage, you got your car notes, you have your health insurance, you have all these bills, and they're really kind of, you're not really saving a lot of money. And then you're dealing with inflation. And inflation's always going to keep going up, right? $1 in 2000 was worth more than it is now. Even if you're making $100,000 a year as a salary, what is that going to really worth 10 years from now? It's going to be like $40,000 a year 10 years from now. Okay, and most people are capped at $100,000 a year in salary, which 2% of the world even makes a 6-figure income. Do you see why our economy is so lopsided now? Because 98% of the world, even in America, don't even make a 6-figure income. And And if I'm a doctor making $500,000 a year, well, that's great. But what if I hurt my hands and I can't be a doctor anymore? Do I still make $500,000 a year for the rest of my life? No, my income stops. It's a linear income. So I learned all this by reading this book. Changed my life. Literally changed who I was as a person. Okay? It changed my choices. It changed who I attract in my life. This third book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's kind of a great book. Would you guys agree? Yeah. It's not how to defriend people. It's how to win friends. You know, in Facebook you can defriend people. In real life you can't. Okay? You're going to have to deal with difficult people at your job, at your work, and especially where? In your business. But the difficult people can also lead you to millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands a year. So I learned, okay, not everyone is wired like me, and that's okay. Some people are wired differently, but that means that means they're still an asset to the organization, right? They might have different personalities, different traits, maybe they're driven by different things. But I have to be, as a leader, I have to be able to add value to every type of person I come in contact with, even if they don't like me. Does that make sense? I have to still be respected as a leader. So how to win friends and influence people? I have literally in the past month, I have gone back to this book, and I've gone back to the Abraham Lincoln story. How many of you ever heard the Abraham Lincoln story? Where one of his colonels was doing some stupid things. And so in the Civil War, and he literally wrote a letter, just blasting him. And he was going to mail it. But what did he do? He never mailed it. So I have written a lot of people letters in the past 30 days without mailing. And I got it out on paper, and then I forgot why I was even mad. You guys getting that? And that's email, you know, or text. You gotta be very careful. You gotta be very careful with text. Because you can text someone nasty, even though you're right, and then they'll just go share that on Facebook and blast you publicly. So you got to really control that. Even if someone really ticks you off in the business or anything in life, you got to really be careful and always ask yourself, what would Jeff Olson do? Every time I speak, I'm like, okay, what would Jeff Olson say? What would Mark do? What would Tammy do? Right? What would Tammy say? You know, I always think that when I'm getting mad and angry, I'm always like, okay, take a deep breath. How many of you been there? Am I the only one? Okay. Someone's making you upset in the business. Encourage them. Encourage them. Does that make sense? Encourage them, inspire them, just do your best. Fourth book, actually, Think and Grow Rich is probably maybe later on. Okay, I would add the fourth book, Developing the Leader Within You. Developing the Leader Within You by John Maxwell. And then, I'm kind of biased, but the fifth book is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Again, this is for all aspects of your life, not just for the business, okay? So those are the 5 books. Now, what I learned about a book is you want to read the book about 6 times. First time you read it, you just skim through it. Second time, take notes. And then put it down, go read another one. Then come back to the book. So your first year, those are the 6 books. I would really master the content of the book, okay? Also, we have the Real Life Library with a lot of personal development in the back office as well. Promote the product, we talked a lot about today. We definitely are a business of promoting the product. So, what do? We get our bottles, we're handing out bottles. I would hand out bottles only to your local friends and family. I wouldn't mail bottles to Virginia. Does that make sense? I learned from Tammy Smith. I mean, her and Vanessa Munger actually kind of created out of just, they didn't know what they were doing. They said, well, what do we do? And Mark, no one knew actually 3 years ago. But they just started handing out Vanessa and Tammy to their friends locally in Mission Viejo. Just, hey, try a bottle for 5 days. That's how this whole thing started. But they didn't mail them because they didn't have a lot of product back then. So the whole long distance people, just get them on some information and then get them signed up because it's a 30-day money-back guarantee anyway. So don't think you got to take your $100 bill and go mail it to people because you're never going to get the $100 bill back. And then they're never probably going to sign up because there's no sense of urgency. Therefore, you're going to get ticked off because they're not mailing it back to you. You might lose a friendship because of it. It's silly. Unless it's someone that, like my mom, I did mail the bottle to New York, okay? So definitely, locally, hand out the bottle, long distance, use the tools about the product if that's what their interest is, and then get them just to sign up. As far as the product goes, you definitely can answer some questions. I don't think you need to get people on 3-way calls about silly product questions. Where you get people on 3-way calls is the business. Does that make sense? So if someone has a question about the business, I would kind of play the dumb game or back down, be like, that's a great question. I'm so glad you said that. I'm new, I'm still in training, but let me actually get someone on the phone that knows the answer to that, that's super successful. Hold on one second. But when it comes to the product, definitely learn definitely how the products work and teach them how to use the product effectively. Because when you put it on, how many of you love at night using the product, okay? I put it all over it. I do like 10, 11, 12, 20 pumps, and I'm just like this, and it's all over, and then but it has to, as you know, it has to be really wet, right? When it's dry, it doesn't, it hurts, right? Especially when you put it around the sensitive parts of your face. But some people just think they just put it on without wetness, and then they're not going to see results, okay? So make sure you really communicate. Really wet face, neck, chest, put it all over, 5, 6, 7 pumps, and they're going to have the best results. Because after 5 minutes, what happens? You can really feel it working, which is really cool, right? And it really feels good. And then you go to bed and you wake up and say, wow, some of the spotting's gone, maybe some scarring is gone, whatever. You just feel this redness is going away. Men with a shaving get a cleaner shave. So it's really incredible. Just for 5 days, you can see results. And that's really what our company is, the foundation. All right, promote the opportunity. What we do here is very simple. Okay, I'm going to teach you this, okay, because in a nutshell, is the how-tos do matter, but again, it's how you do the how-tos. So this is really what gets, this right here is really what hurts people the most if they don't know what they're doing, okay, because they never really use the three-way call, whether they're nervous or they don't know what they're doing, or they do this wrong. So obviously this is a bottle, use third-party tools. You can definitely give the bottle. But what I also would, I love the magazine. I love, this is my favorite. I don't have business cards. I'm not saying don't get business cards. My business card is the magazine. So I'm on the auto ship every month, and I have a label, Todd Cahill, my website. So when I'm out and about in my car, I always have 2 on me. And I don't do a lot of cold market. I'm not teaching you guys, go talk to strangers. But when I'm out and about, because I'm alive, 3 kids, they have all these things. I'm always around town. I don't even really stay at home. I'm always out and about, okay, making calls and going to Starbucks and stuff. So I always have one on me. So if I strike up a conversation with somebody, I always give them a magazine. I say, you're a sharp person. I always like to network with other sharp people like yourself in the area. Here's my card. Do you have a card? And they're like, well, that's cool. What's a magazine? Yeah, absolutely. In fact, you remind me of someone that's successful that I work with, my business partner. I kind of mirror match who they are. So if they're younger, one of the younger people, right? If they're older, one of some of the older people in the business. So if they're female, male, I mirror match them to some of the back behind the magazine success stories. That's it. I love this line. You guys ready for this? Hello, my name is Todd. Have you seen this magazine? No. I'd like to give you this magazine and ask you to take a look at it for me. Can you do that? Sure. What's the best number to reach you? 858 or 619? That's my area code in San Diego. What's your area code, obviously, in Oregon, right? Guys, in my other company, I did that when I had no more market. I lived at the mall. I built a team of over 40,000 people that I did that with. Now, do I have to do it with Miriam as much? No. But if you really are interested in the cold market, I will stick to that script because it's the only thing that works effectively. Hello, my name is Todd. Do that. Watch this. Hello, my name is Todd. Have you seen the magazine? See what I just did? I just became their friend, not the salesman. Hello, my name is Todd. Have you seen this magazine? No, I'd like to just give it to you and ask you to take a look at it for me. Great. Can you do that? Yeah. What's the best time to reach you? Oh, by the way, you remind me of this person. She's amazing. Her name is Anna Kant. She's one of the most successful people out there. You remind me of her. I'm new to the area. I want to start networking with other successful people like yourself. Oh, no, I'm not interested in your scam. You think I get that? Never. I never get that. Why? Because I'm confident. Plus, I'm also cool. I'm not weird. I'm not going to even go there with some of you, okay? No, I'll tell you a story about weird. My mom. I grew up hating network marketing because my mom would have a button this big, and it said, "Fat-free, ask me." She would walk in everywhere and say, "Hi, have you seen my button?" Hi, because she's very outgoing, and I love her for it because I learned a lot about being outgoing. That's why I was introverted, because I was so embarrassed to be my mom, right? My grandfather, God rest his soul, he was very skinny. At bingo, in front of us, he would walk up to the overweight people and say, "You're overweight. You need what my daughter has." They didn't do very well. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay? I'm not kidding. He probably even said it worse than that, but he didn't know. He was 90-some years old. He was doing network marketing a month before he died. I mean, because he just loved networking. Okay, so that's where I kind of learned who I am and how to do it. But that's something I never wanted to do. You understand? I understand you guys are wearing nerdy stuff. That's awesome. Obviously, I'm not saying go do that, right? But fat-free, ask me. Are you kidding me, right? You look like a cornball, right? But the thing about the business is you got to be cool. Okay, you got to be like just most people don't want to do that nowadays. You guys agree? All they want to do is just talk normally to people, be excited about something, and not have to pitch something. So what I found does work is just the magazine. The magazine is the bridge. That's all it is. The magazine, it came out in Barnes & Noble. The company promotes it. I promote it. The top leaders promote it. I'm a product of it. I've literally built nothing from a huge empire because of the magazine. It's everything because if you can effectively give a magazine out and get a business card in return, okay, I'll give you another tip. You guys want another tip? Follow-up. Okay, I have a follow-up system that is second to none. It is the greatest follow-up system you could ever have. Okay, and guess how much it costs? $10. Okay, so what I do is I have a 3x5 box you get at Walmart. It's $5.99. Okay, I actually have it. I'm staying at Jane's house. It's actually at Jane's house. I should have brought it, but I also make my list. So and I buy 3x5 cards. So total 3x5 cards or 4x6 cards, whatever you want, $10, right? So I carry this little box with me, a little plastic. I do it for 10 years. And then I have a tab, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, tabs, right? And then today, I'll do my 2 exposures. So let's say I talk to 2 ladies, right? And what I do is, have you seen this magazine? No, I like to give it to you. Ask you to take a look at it. It can be warm market, right? It doesn't matter. Take a look at it. You remind me of someone in the magazine, very successful. Read the article. I don't tell them to go read the whole magazine because nobody has time for that. Then I'll write down her name, okay, and her number, and I'll say I'm going to call you tomorrow. So today is Saturday, so I'll put that 3x5 card in the tab, what? Sunday. So when I wake up tomorrow, I'm obviously not going to call her on Sunday morning. Why? Because church and family, and that's just kind of the American thing. I don't make calls until about 3 on Sunday, okay? But guess what the best time is of the week to call? Sunday evening. So I have her, and I have her number, and maybe some of the back numbers that I have, all in my Sunday tab. So maybe it's just 4 3x5 cards. So those are the people what? I'll call. I've got a voicemail on all 4. How do I leave a voicemail? Ring, ring. Let's say their name is Tanya. Hey, Tanya, this is Todd. I met you yesterday. I gave you that magazine. I have phenomenal news for you. They call me back every time. What do I do? I hung up. They call me back. Hey, I think you got cut off. You say, what's going on? Oh, yeah, I must have been driving or something. I don't remember. Anyway, what's going down? How'd you like the magazine? Oh, I didn't watch it. Oh, perfect. I'm so glad you said that. I understand if life is busy. I totally get that. Grab a pen. Write this number down. 507-726-3800, option 2. Call that number. Let's say she's a stay-at-home mom. I would say what? Option 1. Stay-at-home mom call with all the 5, Anna Woodward and Tammy Smith. That number I just gave was a real lifeline. You guys know that, right? 507-726-3800. But there's about 5 or 6 amazing recruiting calls. So a lot of you are making this mistake. Ring, ring. She calls back. Hey, Tanya. Hey, did you read the magazine? No. Oh. Okay. To read it tonight. Well, Todd, I'm really busy. Holidays. I don't know. Probably next week. Well, can I have my magazine back? How does that make you look? Like kind of a jerk, to be honest with you. So I always take the path of least resistance, and I'm always proactive, not reactive. So let's review, class. How do you leave a voicemail? Ring, ring. Hey, this is Todd. Hey, I'm so excited to meet you yesterday. It could be your warm market too. Hey, Bob. Great to catch up with you yesterday. Great to catch up. Of course, hopefully you got my magazine. But hey, here's the deal. I have some of the best news for. I'm telling you, they'll call you every time. You can use it or not, but I recruited 100 people my first year. My first year, 100 people. Okay, 25 my first month. So if I do that, you should do that. You guys should. Okay? I'm just saying, because here's the worst voicemail. Hey Bob, hey, this is Todd. Again. Calling you back. Hey, Merry Christmas. See your family. Anyway, I really need to talk to you. I'm in that durian thing. I'm really trying hard to get a recruit, and don't call me back, and nobody calls me back. And I'm getting really frustrated. And I don't even think I'm going to do it anymore. Screw this. I know, because I've been there. Don't take your frustration out of Bob, okay? But again, you won't be frustrated if you learn the game. Does that make sense? That's why it's a game. It's fun. So, and then you're going to get a lot of voicemails. 9 out of 10 people you follow up with, you're going to get a voicemail, unless you just make an amazing connection. So the better people person you are, and by the way, when I meet a stranger, one of the last things I'll ever do is sit there and talk with them. I think it's offensive, to be honest with you. I'm not the type of person to chit-chat with a stranger for 20 minutes. I'm just not. Because if I'm giving them a magazine, I want them to be like, whoa, that guy was cool. What just happened? Like, whoa. Like I want the Cahill, whoa. Okay? Because I got in, I made an impact, I looked him straight in the eyes, I gave him the magazine, I was nice to him, but I had to go. You understand? I'm Donald Trump in this case. They're not. I'm too busy. I might be able to hook them up with an opportunity, but I don't know. I have to, you want to work, not for me, but you want to work with me? I don't know if you qualify. So hurry up and read that article. I'm going to call you tomorrow, and I might be able to connect you with one of the top executives in our company. I might. And I'm not saying I say that to everyone, but that's the mindset you have to have. Because we don't want everybody. And if I was a job hunter, and Nurian paid me a salary, and Nurian was a corporate America company, is that how they do it in corporate America? Oh, heck yeah. You have to have a resume, you got to meet, you have to have a job interview, you might have 2, 3, 4, 5 interviews to get a position. Why are we not treating this like that? Not that it's not a job, it's not a position, so there's a fine line, but it's that posture that what you have is way better than what they're doing. That's true. And we have to come off where, I don't know, our company's exploding right now, you obviously seem like a very nice guy. I might really be able to hook you up with one of the top executives of the company, but I'm not sure. One of the first qualifications for that is for you to read this article about my business partner, so-and-so, who's very successful, and you do remind me of that. You see how nice I am being? I'm not being, but at the same time I have posture. Because posture is what makes you strong. What makes you weak is being weak. You guys get that? Oh, our company would love you. Oh my gosh. You would do so well here. You're so amazing. You're such a people person. Oh my gosh, you would love it here. That's not posture. Does that make sense? So again, there's a fine line because we're loving, caring, sharing company, but we also have to kind of, walk around like this a little bit. I don't need you. You need me, right? And it's just it's a much better feeling when they need you more than you need them. And believe me, you don't need anybody. Does that make sense? You don't want to build a business of needy people that I call breastfeed. I don't want my team breastfeeding all day, okay? Todd, give me a recruit. Todd, when are you going to recruit and place them underneath me? If anyone calls me, I have a rule, and says, can you place someone underneath me, I X them out of my Focus 30 list. Because if anyone asks, that means they're not a leader. Why would you ask your upline, can you place someone underneath me? That's coming from a form of weakness. I don't need anyone to place anyone underneath me. Now, if someone did because I earned it, oh, happy day. Go earn it. And yeah, you might get someone placed underneath you, but that's not the business model. That's just the placement suite. Would you guys agree? So don't be that, oh, please, my upline, please hook me up. And I've had this happen. Believe me, I'm only bringing this up because it's happened to me. And I just come to the conclusion of if that happens, that's the person I don't place under. It doesn't matter. Because you can't come from a thing of need. Because how good of a leader are they going to be if they need my people? How are they going to lead my people if they need my people? Oh, that sounds great, right? That's that right. The person I want to give my people to is the person that I go where I'm not needed. And I always go where I'm not needed. not when I'm needed. Because if I'm needed, it's needy, and I don't want to be needed or needy. I only go where the momentum is. I only work with the people that are on fire. Not that I don't work with the people that aren't, but if they're needy and they're always complaining and whining and why are you helping me? And I have a choice. You have a choice. I don't have to work with anyone. Does that make sense? I mean, we want to work with everybody, but I also don't want to, have a terrible life working with a bunch of needy people that are breastfeeding. I'm not even a woman. Okay, does that make sense? So does that kind of make sense? Okay. So life gets really good at Miriam when you only work with about 30 people, and these 30 people are amazing, kick butt, credible people. And that's where I'm at right now. And I love this business because every day I get to wake up and work with only 30 of the greatest leaders I've ever worked with. Now, do I still call their new starts? Yes. Do I still help them? Yes. Do I just call them all day? No. Do I call a lot of their leaders? Yes. But again, at the end of the day, that's my core inner circle. Does that make sense? And that's your goal, is you work with about 30. Okay. Now, again, going back to this, how to set up the follow-up. Again, you have the box. Now, what if I follow up with somebody and they say, yes, I watched it. Oh my God, nobody watches it. You actually watched it? Oh my gosh, this is amazing. James Bond. You guys remember that? Now the women, I guess, would be what? Angelina Jolie and Tomb Raider or something, right? You're just like of course. Yeah, so of course you loved it. Of course you did, right? And then behind you, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I'm so nervous. Oh my gosh, what do I do? That's cool, right? You all been there? Okay, don't be nervous. Here's what you do. You're going to set up the three-way call. So when I do my follow-ups, very simple. I text 3 to 4, maybe 5 leaders in my own downline. Not my upline. Now you could, but I don't like to use my upline all the time. I like to use my own leaders. So even if they're directors, even if they're senior directors, why? Because it tests them. I want to see if they're any good. So I'll go prospect. Now, if you don't have a lot of leaders, then of course, you use your upline. But, okay, never do this. Don't call Jane or somebody on a visa and say, hey, Jane, you got a second? Sure, Todd. Yeah, what's going on? Okay, you got about 12 minutes, 15 minutes? Yeah, for what? Okay, I just want to tell you, I'm going to get this person on the phone, maybe. But I want to give you a bio on them. I don't care. Does that make sense? All I care about is when you text me, I'm doing follow-ups, and I say yes, and then you do use me, and then you say, okay, obviously I want to know something. Okay, Todd, I got Sal on the phone. I gave him a magazine. He liked it. He's all about the money, but I'm not sure if he has the money as of this moment. So it might be broke. I'm not sure, but I want you to sign him up. Okay. That's all I need to know. I call Sal, I do my thing, I share my story. I say, Sal, on a scale 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, where you find yourself a level of interest. He says an 8. I say, welcome to the team. You're going to get your credit card out right now. You're going to sign up with Jane. She's going to work with the website with you. You're going to have a game plan interview with Jane. Everything is going to go amazing. We're going to get your money back in a week or less because you're going to follow exactly what we shared to do. Is that going to be okay with you? Yes. Great. Welcome to the team. If they're 7 or below, I say, great. What's stopping you from joining our team right this moment? I don't have the money. How do you feel about that? Stinks. Yeah, I know. Christmas is here, right? Oh, it's Christmas. I have to wait till January. Really? Okay, well, how would you like me to personally work with you to make $2,000, $3,000 between now and the 21st of December? You can really do that? Of course I can do that. Why wouldn't I be able to do that? Well, if you can do that, perfect. Okay, well, what you're going to do is you're going to sign up right now. You're going to get your Visa or MasterCard out right now. And you're going to go sign up right now on Jane's website. You're not going to delay. You're not going to procrastinate because procrastination is the cornerstone of poverty. You don't want to be poor, right? Perfect. You're going to sign up. You're going to get started. You see what I'm saying? I'm making them do it. And that's what you got to do because people are used to having a boss in their wife, and then and you're just doing it. You're just saying, you're going to go sign up. Now, I'm not being pushy. And believe me, you people are like, oh, that's pushy. No, this is what doesn't work. Hey, here's my story. All right, well, it's great to meet you. I hope to work with you. Thank you. You're not going to sign anyone doing just sharing your story. Would you guys agree? Share your story on a scale 1 to 10, 8 or more, sign them up, 7 or below, move them to the next exposure. That's it. So you're not even being pushy. You're just assuming the sale, and you're confident in your own ability to help them when they join. Now, the reason I bring that up is guess why I joined 10 years ago? Because the person that signed me up was exactly that person. They even said this, I guarantee you, if you join this team, I'll personally work with you and you will get your money back, okay? Now I did get my money back. I didn't recruit anyone, but I sold some memberships in my company my first week. He did do that. Okay? So guess what? I didn't have any money. I almost hung up on the guy. As far as before he did the three-way, but when he did the three-way call, he edified the guy so well that I thought the guy was Bill Gates. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I was like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because the prospect, my sponsor, edify your people so well that I was actually humbled to hear from him. You see how that works? So if you're like, so you're Mr. Prospect. Mr. Prospect, let me introduce this guy. His name's Todd. He's a cool dude. He's like my bro. He's my friend. He's a cool dude, makes some money, whatever. Hold on a second. Hey, Todd. Hey, this is Bill. Bill, this is Todd. I'm at the same level as the brand partner. I'm not at the same level. You understand? I'm not. So you don't introduce someone to Donald Trump. Hey, what's up? This is Don. Don, this is Bob. Don, go ahead. Go ahead, Don. Go ahead. I would spend probably a minute just talking about Donald Trump's accolades, kind of like how Jane did with me. I would be sharing some bullet points. I mean, this person makes a ton of money. This person travels all over the country, wherever you're at. But the four main things are: makes a lot of money, loves helping people, okay, knows 100% of the facts for the analytical types, and they're down to earth, and they're a lot of fun. That's the dolphins. The whales are helping people. The sharks are money, and then the urchins are analytical. So I'm always sitting on four of the personalities when I edify somebody. Now, if you know for sure who you're using, you can also get personal. You'd be like this person, I'll tell you something about Jane. She has been there since day one. She has mentored me. She has helped me. She has coached me. She has guided me. She makes incredible income. She's already massively successful outside Miriam, but she's doing it because it's so lucrative financially here, but also she loves the culture. I mean, we attract some of the best people here. She's one of the best people I get to work with. I'm so blessed to be working with her. Hold on 1 second. I don't know if I get a hold of her, but maybe I can. Hold the line 1 second. Oh, grab a notepad and pen. You're going to have some questions. That's how you edify your expert. Does that make sense? And I think once you get into that hang of things, and once you really start to connect that from your head to your heart, all you really got to do in this business is expose people properly using third parties, and then get out of the way. So I'm doing Ironmans next year. I've already done a few in my life, and I'm doing a bunch worldwide next year. Well, let's talk about the Ironman. Does anyone know what Ironman is? Okay, it's a swim, and then a bike, and then a run. Now, the Ironman is 2.5 miles, 112-mile bike, and 26.2-mile run. I'm kind of a crazy guy. That's why I'm doing it, okay? But think about the Ironman. So me and Jane and Libby and all these people, all the energy, whoever your upline is, because a lot of you come from different uplines all over the country. Think about your upline that you use. They're your Iron Man, Iron Woman. But you've got to get darn good at a few things. You've got to get darn good at what? Holding the bike so you don't fall. So when we come out of the water and swim, we're taking the thing off and, unbuttoning. And, well, guess what? You need to hold the bike for us so that we can, all right, thank you. All right, awesome. Thanks for the setup. And then after the bike, what? You put our shoes very nicely, or we can put the bike down, you grab the bike so it doesn't fall, and then, okay, there's your shoes. Come on. Oh, good job, good job. That's all you do to set us up for the three-way. Because what do we do as your upline? We do all the work. All you got to do is not mess up the setup. And some people still have a problem with that. And they can't do it. Well, I would learn before you go to bed tonight how to do a three-way call, how to edify, practice in the mirror, how to edify your support team. Practice in front of your daughters, even if they're 1 year old, okay? Okay? Just practice, because if you don't get that, then how can your prospect ever have the respect to listen to someone like me and actually be influenced by me to take out their credit card and buy 1,000 packs? And they don't know me. But it doesn't matter, because they'll listen to me more than you. Because your prospect is your friend, and I'm a stranger, but they'll trust me more than you. Because you edified me so well, it's like you guys are arguing at a bar who won 1999 World Series. Let's say it was the Sox and the Yankees, whatever. I know it wasn't, but let's say it is. And then a stranger comes over, Yankees, Sox, blah, 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 blah. I don't even think they're playing the same. I don't think they would even be in the World Series together. But one person says it was the Yankees. Stranger, complete stranger, just passes by Yankees, guys. All right, have a nice day. What do you have to do? Stop arguing immediately. Okay. I'll buy you a beer. Yeah, you want. Okay. You're right. Okay. Okay. They don't even know if it's right or not, but they'll listen to a stranger. Okay. That's what we are for three-way calls. You guys getting this? Because, man, I'm telling you, I just gave you the secret sauce of this business. The moment I started to get myself out of the way and do three-way calls, I went, you ready for this? 21 out of 21. 21 prospects all signed up 21 times, 21 in a row. That's a pretty good ratio. You guys agree? Okay? And that was the other company. But, again, magazines, we already talked about that. Put your label on. If you don't put your label on, I'll give you my label. Pretty easy. I just seen you afterwards. Lead capture pages. We have that, of course, arealbreakthrough.com. So your username arealbreakthrough.com. That's what comes up. It's a 2-minute video. It shows that people are watching through your email. Plus, they're in the email campaigns as well. It's a great follow-up as well. Power duplication. Okay, real quick. We're going to go through the slides real quick. All right, this is exposures. So team of 10, team of 30, obviously look how many exposures a month that go out. As long as you're doing your 2 a day, that's 15,600 exposures a year. Let's say 10% sign up, that's 1,560 people on the team. I always say, make a list of 100 people, approach that list, okay, and that's what we're going to talk about now, is making a list real quick, okay. So here's what I would do. So I'm going to go through the list real quick, and I'll talk about a party, and then I'm going to bring Libby up to kind of give me a little break here, and give you guys a break. We're going to do recognition, take a potty break, and then come back. But let me give you the secret, okay? I'm going to give you one of the secrets of recruiting right now, and that's make a list of 100 people, okay? I have a YouTube video about it. This is unbelievable concept. So every single one of you know at least 100 people, right? In the world of Facebook, everyone knows. I mean, you don't have to know them personally or like they're like your best friend. But you take 100 people and you want to compartmentalize them in 4 parts. So 25% are going to be, let's say, long distance people, 90 miles outside Salem. A quarter of them are going to be, let's say, just product people, salon owners, estheticians. They definitely would want to try the product first. You know that. 25% are going to be friends and family in Salem, locally, wherever you live in Oregon. Okay? Local to you, that are your friends and family that you want to invite to your party. And then the last 25% are acquaintances, people that are local, but they work with you, but you're not going to invite them to your house. So you're going to approach these four types of people differently, and it's going to be very professional and very easy. Now, let's say 90% of them say no. How many recruits did you get? 10. Now, out of those 10, they all have 100 that they know each. So now you're going to expose what? 1,000. All the same way I'm about to teach you. So 900 say no. How many recruits now are underneath you? 110 now. So those 100 each know 100 or more. We're going to approach them the same way. 100 times 100 is 10,000 exposures that you and now your team have. 90% say no. You now have 1,110 people on your team. Pretty cool, right? How do you approach these people? Well, product. What do we do with the product? We call them up locally and say, hey, I got something I got to show you. I'm coming over. Anti-aging product, you're going to love it. That's the easiest approach. I mean, unbelievable. Second person is the acquaintance person, right? Here's how you approach your acquaintances. You call them up, ring, ring. Hey, Bob, what's up? It's Todd. How you doing? Oh, I'm good, Todd. How are you? Good, good, good. Hey, listen, I only have a second. Hey, you got 15 minutes tomorrow? Yeah, well, what's going on? All right, so meet me either at 2 or 4 at the Starbucks tomorrow off the corner of Winchester. And all I need is 15 minutes. It's something I have to show you. Oh, and by the way, Bob, you may not be interested, but it only takes 15 minutes. Oh, that's great. Well, 2 o'clock works for me. Well, what is it? It only takes 15 minutes. I know, but what is it? Something important I got to show you, Bob. Jeez, I got to go. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Now, what do you do at that sit-down? You show them your video, the new video, and then you show them the magazine, and then you get them on a 3-way call after the video. That's all you do. Oh, and you buy them a latte. That's all you do. So you book in sit-downs for acquaintances. Third type of person is parties, right? So you're gonna have a party scheduled, this weekend or whatever, and you're gonna book the party. So you're gonna call your list and call one of the people, and their name is Sally. Hey Sally, this is Todd. How you doing? Great, Todd. How are you? Hey, listen, I only have a second. I'm about to step out the door. Hey, but what are you doing this Sunday at 2 o'clock? I finally found a way to be a stay-at-home dad so much more quicker than I thought. And I'm having a celebration at my house because of the project that I'm endorsing. It would mean the world to me if you can come. Can you make it? Sure. Well, what is it? It's a project I'm endorsing. It's 90% visual. I'm having a lot of people over. Oh, by the way, can you do me a favor? Can you bring some ice? Thanks so much. I got to go. I'm on my way out. I'll see you tomorrow at 2. Oh, by the way, thanks so much. It means the world to me that you're going to come. So I invite, so every 4 people that say yes, 1 shows up, 1 out of 4, okay? So I want to invite 20 more people easily for my wine and cheese party. So that's my wine and cheese party. Again, that's going to be birthed through a lot more parties to that sector, okay? Now the last thing is what? Long distance. So long distance is the easiest. I call my mom. Mom, what's your address? I'm sending you a gift. Call my sister. Hey, Christine, what's your address? I'm sending you a gift. Hey, call my brother. Hey, Adam, what's your address? I'm sending you a gift. Hey, I call my pastor. Hey, what's your, from when I grew up. Hey, what's your address? I'm sending you a gift. No one rejects that. Oh, okay, here's my address. What do? I send them a magazine. I put, read this article, P.S., read the article. I mail it out. That's it. That's how I expose 100 people as fast as I possibly can. And that's why I stand before you with 64,000 people on my team after 2 years. Okay? So, everyone can do that, right? Can everyone do that? It's so easy. So did I just kind of change the game for you where you're like, I can do that, that's nothing. Now you can't do anything more than I just said. You can't add your little thing to that. You can't say a little bit more than I said, because if you do, you're dead. Because I've been doing this for 10 years, and believe me, I know. I didn't make it up myself. I just have used all this stuff, and all of that I just said worked the most effectively. But the moment I added more or did my own thing, too many questions, too many uncomfortable things. Okay, what is it? Tell me a little bit. I'm not going to meet with you until you tell me what it is, because I said too much. Does that make sense? I always had a sense of urgency. All right, so that's pretty much the training for today. Have a great day. No, I'm just kidding. I thought we talked a lot about this already, using 3 ways. Okay, attend a live event. You guys are here. The significance of live events are everything. We already talked a lot about that. Never miss, show up. Even when you don't feel like it. I posted something a couple days ago on my Facebook page, which was a true story. I didn't feel like working out, but guess what I did anyway? I worked out. You're not going to feel like coming to the regional every week, month. You're not going to feel like coming to the market party, especially when the weather is a little off, okay? Oh, it's snowing, can't go. Just be careful. Leave a little early. Does that make sense? So just because you don't feel like it. But when you do come, what happens? You're so glad you came. When I went to that gym, I had one of the best workouts. I'm still kind of sore from it today, actually. I did legs and shoulders, but I did just a bunch. But once I put my music on, I listened. I don't know why, but I'm listening to Creed. I don't know why. I used to be addicted to it in 2000, and I don't know. It just pumps you up, right? Can you take me higher? Right? Yeah. So I didn't feel like it, but it's weird because when I walked in that gym that particular night, what happens when you walk into that association? It's like, oh, I'm so glad I'm here. When you go to church, I don't feel like going to church, but you do anyway. What happens? Oh, so glad I came. When you go to the market party, when you go to the region, when you go to the convention, oh, I'm so glad I'm here with these bunch of champions. But the process of getting there, you're like, what am I doing? I don't want to go. But I don't know what it is, but you're there. Okay, that's why the live events, no matter what our technology is, are everything. Okay, you can't get that feeling from watching it on a video. You just can't. Okay, you can't build your business on just videos. Okay, it has to be the live event. All right, so trainer, new brand partner, I make sure they watch Mark and Tammy on obviously the new brand partner training. And how I coach people is this: I sign her up. These two, obviously they fast qualified. I give them a homework assignment. Homework assignment number 1: go watch the new brand partner training and call me back immediately. When can you do it? Tonight? Perfect. When you're done and you're finished 100%, call me back. Now, what if they don't call me back? Like 2, 3, 4 days later, they're already failing my test. So next one, okay? It's like, okay, well, I have 10. They might be 1 out of the 8 that doesn't. Okay, next. I'm not saying give up on them, but I'm just saying I need to move on. But if they call me right back right away, and they keep their word, oh my gosh, we have something here. Ding, 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 okay? So after I do that, then I do the game plan. The game plan interview, I ask them the live questions, and then of course we make that list. All right, training parties, this is the last thing here, is wine and cheese parties. We'll host it. Okay, the training party is nearing you every Monday night. How many of you guys do those? Okay, awesome. Okay, so it's very simple. Any level can do one. So if you're in the middle of nowhere, Oregon, and you only have 2 brand partners in that area, just have like a potluck and they'll start building culture every Monday night. It doesn't matter what level you're at. Everyone can host a trading party. Real Result Parties is a wine and cheese party. This is really the core of our business, okay? So hosting one. Here's the deal. This is more important than anything, okay? Market parties. This is what creates huge market parties. So let's say another part of Oregon, because there's many parts, obviously big state, there's no market party. And you guys live there, but there's like nothing. You guys can create that. You guys get that, right? So you guys all have party. You guys are all party animals. I mean, every week you're just partying together, wine and cheese party. And it gets so big where then you have to start a market party. But just because you have a market party, does that mean you stop Real Result parties? No, because that happens a lot though. You start a market party, it gets to this size, then everyone just relies on the crutch of, all right, well, it's every Thursday night, we'll just bring everyone to Thursday. But what that is you're building it once a week. My mentor years ago said, Todd, you build this business daily, not once a week. Well, most people, because of the market party, just think they just build it once a week. Well, that's great, but I'd rather build it daily through practice. Practice is wine and cheese, sit downs, exposures, wine and cheese, wine and cheese, wine and cheese. The game night, Monday night football, or Thursday night football is what? Your market party. That's when you put your helmet on, your spandex. I'm a sports guy, okay? So that's game night. Game night is the market party. Game night is when you're in your best behavior, your best dressed, walking around like you own the place, and then it's all real estate. So if I have this whole entire row today, that's pretty good. Would you guys agree? What if I had half this room on my team for every market party? That would be even better. So you want to think like that. You want to think, well, I'm going to own the room. And the only way you're going to own the room is what you do in the 6 days leading up to the 7th day. Oh, that's good. That's good, right? Does that make sense? But if you just participate in the market party once a week and just kind of semi-build into it, you're never going to own the real estate. It's a land grab. Like right now, it's the wild, wild west in your area. You guys getting this? I'll kind of close with this and bring Olivia. Right now, it's the wild, wild west. What happened in the wild, wild west? You got the gold rush to California. Okay, the gold rush is happening all over this country. It's in Mexico. Look at Mexico, it's a gold rush. Look at Canada as a gold rush. Most Canadians are a lot more open than even Americans to network marketing. Do you guys know that? Americans are a lot of them like, oh no, that's one of those barriers, right? Natural. Okay? You go to Asia, when you say, oh, it's $150 a month, and try it, and they see, it's like, they'll laugh at you. $150, they will, no, the Asians will, okay, they'll basically say, you stay here. Stay. You can't leave. You stay, okay? And then come on, everyone. And then same with Mexico. They just boom. And then you're like, and then you sit down, rose up party. You're like, I'm exhausted. And then you go to another part of the city. And then there's the mobs will come because they don't have that opportunity where they live in Asia. Same with Mexico, okay? Same with Canada. I mean, America's a little different. It's not that way. It's like, oh no, think about it. I have to really pray about it for a couple of days, okay? Call me next month. But in other countries, they're like, especially like Europe, when we go to Europe, they don't have hotels in Europe like we do. It's all about family. It's all about home. So we're going to bombard home parties everywhere in Europe, Spain, and same with Asia, Mexico. We'll have regionals, but the market parties don't really work in other countries. They work here, obviously, but the real result parties work worldwide. So if you're building your culture on what works worldwide, you're going to get the most land grab, wild, wild west, the gold rush is all going to be on your organization. You guys getting this? So if you build a culture of doing these and having fun with it and smiling and, party, we get paid to party, hashtag we get paid to party, and taking pictures of the food and how much fun you're having. What does your network see on Facebook? Wow, that's all my friend does for a living is wine and cheese and has fun. My first wine and cheese party, Katy Perry was in it. Isn't that cool? So that's what opened up the Hollywood event, because my first party was a Hollywood event, and it was at a $12 million mansion in Rodeo Drive. And I walk in, and the first thing the guy says is like, "Oh, thank God you're not a dork. Come on in, okay?" I'm serious, because his name was Jonathan Ingram. He's the #1 med spa owner in the world, okay? So he comes in, beautiful mansion, and I walk in, It's my first party when I was in Miriam, and I knew about parties whatever from my other company, but this was cool. So 30 people were there. Brad and Angelina Pitt's publicist was there. Katy Perry's personal trainer was there. Nicole Slosger was there from X Factor. Just like everyone that knows who was there. Okay. So then I hosted. Jonathan shared his story, and he's a multi-millionaire, obviously, and he loves Miriam. And it was outside. It was on one of these things out by a fire pit, overlooking all of LA. It was gorgeous. And then after we showed the DVD, I closed the room, and to my surprise, everyone that already wasn't a brand partner lined up to the kitchen and all got the 1,000-pack. And I kind of freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh. And that's what dawned on me. I'm going to own Hollywood. And guess what? We own Hollywood. Okay, we have now all the celebrities that are made. Okay? So from that was September. So September, October, November, December, January, 5 months, we had no market party in Hollywood. All we did was party, 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 and then I posted all about how fun I was having, and it drew a lot of my friends that happen to live in LA, that they signed up. One of them was Jessica and Noel, and they had 35 people show up at their party. Now I'm making $30,000 a month. They just bought a home in Miami, on the beach of Miami, Florida. Now they're one-star national marketing directors. Mike, my friend from the reality show Shaws of Sunset, signed up. He had a party. He went 1 star. My friend Steve signed up. He went 1 star. My friend Victor signed up. He went 1 star. My friend Seth signed up. He went 1 star. A lot of them go 2 to 3 star, all from LA and Hollywood. Only because I kept posting before they all joined how much fun I'm having in Hollywood. And then all the celebrities came after. So it's just so cool to have this. This is why, because as long as you're having fun and people are seeing that, wow, what are they doing that looks so cool? I want to be a part of it. That's what creates market parties nationwide. Okay. So with that, let's do some. I know there's a lot of slides here. Let's do some recognition right now. I'm going to take a little quick break, but this is a great time to recognize all of you, all of the people in the room that have done a really great job throughout the month of November. And then we'll come back here after the break, and I'll go over the back half of just really how to get that Lexus and specifically what that looks like and above. So with that, I'd like to bring up a regional marketing director I met with yesterday, who's very close to NMD, okay? And I'm really excited for her because she has 4 kids, and that's like 2 jobs. Would you guys agree? I got 3, but I can imagine having another one. And they're between the ages of 4 and 10. So she has a handful on her hands, but she is about to hit the top position. She's doing very, very well, and already regional marketing director. Please help me welcome back Libby to the stage.